just walked home, and that was the last time I ever spoke to that person. That was it. That was my breaking point. It wasn't when he tried to dig up a grave because it had a Freemason symbol on it, and he thought there might be secrets buried under it. That didn't do it. But let's fight the devil in a house where a lady murdered her baby. That did it.
Hey everybody, welcome to the stream.
Hey, what's going on?
Dan's streaming and talking to his
True.
stream, and then I just decided I would also stream, so we're both streaming at the same time.
Mm,
That's why you're suddenly hearing a story.
there you go.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Really
Like,
cool.
I like the idea of I like the idea of feeling important enough that you can stop the devil with a blessed sword and nunchucks.
Pretty good. It's almost as
I
good as the
wouldn't
time.
personally do that, but
It's almost as good as the time he leaned over to me and said, "Do you ever remember who you used to be?" And I was like, I was like a
yes.
metaphor for like getting older. And he said, "No, like," and then he slid a book over to me and he said, "I know that in a past life I lived in this castle. I have memories in this castle, with some castle in fucking England." And I was like, "Oh, you're legitimately insane." Okay,
Yep. It's very cool. Very
really
interesting
good
and
stuff.
fun, unique
Yeah.
experience. It's the way it
Mm-hmm.
is, man.
You ever remember who you used to be? Uh,
It's
uh,
just like a crazy thing that just I like the like introduction to that. There's a
yeah.
number of ways that can go.
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah, I
could
remember
be a
who we
very
were when we were
innocent question.
kids, running through the
Yeah,
field, just no care in the
yeah.
world. No, 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 no. I'm
Do
talking
you remember
about
the
the old
castle?
knight you used to be before when you
Yeah,
lived
you
in the
remember the
castle.
castle?
What?
You remember when you marched in the Crusades
Hold
in
on.
600 AD? You remember that? That person you
What?
used to be?
I do actually, now that you mention it.
Let me tell you, nothing will prepare you for the day when you're a 20-something individual who's moved on from his childhood and you get a call in the dead of night from an unknown number and you pick up and say hello and they say, "Are you okay?" And then you say, "Who is this?" And they say, "Your soul stone has turned black." Nothing will prepare you for that call. Chat,
It's
has anyone in chat soul stone ever turned black? Has this ever happened to you guys?
yeah, it's ever happened.
Has a sage called you in the dead of night to warn you that your soul stone turned black?
That's what happens when you get too close to the sun with nerd shit and mental problems.
Mm. That's what happens when you have a mom who thinks she's a psychic when really she just has drinking problems with white wine. Who
when
tells
those
you that
things,
all your
when
yeah,
all those things congeal,
mm, yes,
it's a nasty paste.
not very good, not very good.
Yeah, it's rough. It's very cool though. It's very interesting. I wish I could
Hmm.
kill a lizard man,
Really good stuff.
break
Well,
in the church.
the first step to killing a lizard man is believing that lizard men exist so hard that you manifest them in your mind, and then you can kill one. Once you've made them real by believing in them so hard, you can kill one. They might still look like a human because they're assuming their false form, but you'll know. You'll
Yeah,
know when you kill that guy that you really killed a lizard man, and that's really, that's what matters.
I mean, I believe it. That's the
Yeah.
way it works, Dan. Think about it like this: would a cell phone have ever existed if Star Trek never came out?
Yes, but that's a very good point.
Yeah,
Would have got there eventually.
it wouldn't. Have, maybe it wouldn't have looked like that.
No, doesn't look like the ones in Star Trek either, but
You plant the
it's a very good point.
seed. You plant the seed, and then
It's
it
very true.
flourishes. You think
Yeah.
of a lizard man existing, and then it exists.
Would Borg cubes exist today if not for Star Trek?
Exactly.
No. Nope.
But what was that? Somebody in either of our chats maybe has heard of this. Something. What was it? Was it a study or something like that about The literalness of like if a tree falls in the woods but nobody's there, does it make a sound? And it
Hmm.
was like maybe it doesn't. I can't I can't remember the
Uh,
study. That was the gist of it.
that's very good.
But
That's very good.
yeah, that further leads into your lizard.
Hmm.
You brought the lizard out. You made him real.
A dead lizard man could exist in 100% of the graves you don't dig up. And you'll never know because you didn't dig that grave up.
Exactly.
So until you dig all the graves up to look for dead lizard men, they're in there. You can't say they're not. It's Schrodinger's lizard man.
I've
It's
dug all the graves and ravaged the tombs.
yeah,
There's nothing there.
100%,
It's the end of your life.
100% of the 100% of the holes you don't dig have treasure in them.
It's true.
Very, very good.
It's that meme of that guy digging the tunnel underground and he stops just before the gold.
Mm-hmm.
Except in ours, it's
Just
a
a lizard
whole
man.
legion of lizard men.
Mm-hmm.
They're all sitting around a table going, yes, what
This is the
next?
kind of person. It's the kind of person who read the Da Vinci Code and then broke into a Masonic temple because all of them have secrets.
So stupid.
Yeah.
So awesome. I mean, it's what boredom does to you, though.
I just wish anything in my life was that exciting. That
Yeah.
everything was a conspiracy that only I could crack. I was the main character in like a fucking detective novel that I was writing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'd give anything for my life to be that, to wake up every day and be like, only I can fix it.
Just be Dick
It's
Tracy.
all, this is all about me. It's the Walter White thing. Wait
Yeah.
a minute. No, 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 no. It's all about me.
I wish I had a. I wish I had to deal with Dick Tracy villains, guys named like Lemonhead and Thumb, and shit
Oh
like
my
that.
God, I know.
That
Pussy
world to
lips.
me would be, yeah, pussy lips.
Yeah.
All those like villains are so funny.
Yeah, they're great. When's the last time I tried to watch that Dick Tracy movie? That very expensive Hollywood flop.
Not recent enough. Dick Tracy rules.
I was just saying this to Chad. I watched Waterworld last week. Do you remember that the Smokers' base was the Exxon Valdez? I missed that somehow as a kid.
Oh no, I must have missed that too.
It's the Exxon Valdez, and like there's like a shrine, like the portrait of the captain is still hanging in like the captain's room, and they treat it like a saint, like they bow in front of it, and he's like, "Soon, Captain Rob." Soon, Captain Rob. Like what? Completely forgot about this. It's so funny. It's like such a dumb, awesome, stupid idea.
Yeah, that went over my head.
Yeah, completely missed it. I wasn't thinking about the ecosystem when I was 8 years old. I was just disappointed that it wasn't Mad Max.
I was just disappointed when I was at Warriors of Virtue looking around the crowd going, fucking there's not more people here. This movie
Uh-uh.
fucking rules. This me as
Why did I
a
remember
12-year-old going, this movie cannot tank.
this? Probably
This needs
isn't.
to be box office magic.
This might be true, or my brain might just be inventing it. But was there a Warriors of Virtue like Mortal Kombat style game with like photos, like you know what I mean, like the 3D models they would take screenshots of and rotate?
Anything's possible. I don't remember it, but
You gotta look
I
this
don't
up.
remember a lot of stuff.
I remember them fighting and the music going like, but I don't know if it's true.
It's just a Berenstain Bears memory.
Could be.
Hey, everybody in the chat.
What's going on?
Yeah, I'll do a step by step of this one for Patreon.
This is not.
I like
This cannot be true.
Lewis Whitworth said, "Do you remember who you were before I killed you? You're them right now." That's really funny.
That's what he meant. That's what he was actually saying. That was the subtext.
You're going back to the castle.
I know.
Banished. That's
It's
really
very
funny.
good. Someday. I'm convinced he will kill someone someday.
I
He's
mean,
probably listening to this right now.
My wife was attacked by a homeless man over the weekend.
Very, very good. Tell
Exciting
us.
stuff, interesting, cool, new, edgy content. Um,
Yeah.
she was just driving out of the Starbucks down the road
Person
from
state.
here, and the guy started punching the car. He's going, "Get out of there! You want to fight me, bitch?" And it turned out my
Uh,
wife didn't want to fight somebody tweaking on
damn.
drugs, which is unfortunate. It's like,
I'm
can't
laughing because for some
please.
reason that's exactly what you would yell if you tried to do that.
If I
It's
was,
like it's like the comedy delivery of that encounter that we would write.
yeah,
That's
it's,
very, very good.
it was like a weird thing to say to a woman.
Do you want to fight me, bitch?
It's like, well, she's just leaving Starbucks, so probably not. Read the room, buddy.
Read the room. Read the drive-through.
But I had to call the police,
Excellent.
and I was just like, hey, I was like, just wanted to give you guys a heads up that he's attacking people.
Very weird that we both had to call the cops in the same weekend.
Yeah,
Bizarre.
yeah, we got spirit buddies.
Yeah.
We got that chain. It's unbreakable.
It's true.
Anyway, yeah, that happened. That's cool. Interesting. Fun new stuff.
Really cool. Really cool. Glad he didn't follow Kim home.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't like he was of sound mind. He wasn't like, all right, I got her license plate. Now the next step.
True.
He was just gone on another planet. Well, I posted about it on the Nextdoor app, where usually I use the Nextdoor app for very fun things like trolling,
Hmm.
which isn't much of a troll because it's my name on the Nextdoor app. It's just my first and
Yeah.
last name,
Everyone knows exactly who you are and
and
can
I
see your
and I
posting
know
history.
people in the neighborhood and stuff.
Hmm.
Anyway, so I'll occasionally post about ghost activity, like I've said before,
Excellent.
which just try and rile up the neighbors, get them, build a narrative for them. It's basically just me playing D&D, running a campaign for my neighborhood. Um, anyway, so that's normally my MO on those apps. But I
Yeah.
posted about it on there, and other people were like, yeah, I saw that guy at the Home Depot. he was swearing at me and flipping me off. I think it's the same dude, same backpack, everything. I was like, oh, okay. Nice.
Yes. He's making the rounds.
Yeah, he's just on a crusade.
He's building a rep.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. Get some. You can get too safe.
Yeah.
He's there to keep people in line. Wake up.
It's the spice of life. It's the things you remember. You're going to remember him more than 99% of the other things you've been doing.
And I go, thanks, buddy. You woke me up today. I've been asleep.
Yeah. It's literally the Fight Club line after they threaten to kill the guy, and he's like, "Tomorrow will be the best day of his life. His
Yeah.
breakfast will taste better than it ever has. He'll go to work loving his job."
And I was like telling him, I was like, yeah, I was like, it's more just that it doesn't happen here. I was like, if it happened all the time, I'm sure you'd be more used to it. I was like, but it's going to affect you in a bad way if it just never happens.
Yeah.
It's like, because I just remember Boston. just,
Mm-hmm.
just dudes in the alleys, woof, 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 just barking at
Mm-hmm.
you. Like, oh, is that a dog? No, it's a man.
When I found out
That's not a dog.
That guy Rapper Jay I used to be friends with, who would just pretend to be insane. He would get in people's faces when they got off the tee and just start rapping, screaming as loud as he could until they gave him money. And he was like, "Nah, I just do it because it works every time." And I was like, "Oh my God, you're not a crazy guy who just gets 1 inch away from people's faces and scream raps at them till they give you money. You're just a sound of mind person who's doing a bit."
Yeah, that's shocking.
I know. It was very, very funny.
Yeah, oh,
It was
it's
very
America.
weird when I met those people, and they were like, "Here's the homeless people. Here's the ones that are actually homeless, and here's the ones that are just doing it for yucks." And I was like, "Oh, like a shocking number of you are all just doing a bit. This is very weird."
Yeah, that was like those crust punk kids back in the day,
Yep.
where you're like, oh, you guys are just like trust fund kids.
Yeah, you just go to college at Mass Art and like hanging out at Copley Square.
Yeah, you're like, you
Like,
don't need to be doing this. You want to be
no.
doing this.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, that was something.
Very good.
Yeah, those kids were always corny.
The one legitimate homeless guy, Dale, who I
Dale.
then let
Well,
live
I
on my
was gonna
couch
say
for.
he wasn't homeless for long.
No, I let him live on my couch for like 2 years. Dale was
Yeah,
great. Everyone else sucked. Dale was awesome.
Dale's quiet.
Dale was great. When that kid told the cops he was me and got the citation under my name, and I was screaming at my roommates about how mad I was and what I was gonna do, I was like, I just remember this so well, where everything got quiet, and then Dale hadn't said anything, and he was just smoking a cigarette, and he went, "Gave Dan's name to the cops. He's got to go." It's like great delivery. Was so funny. Gave Dan's name to the cops. Gotta go.
It's true. He's no good anymore.
I know.
Get him
It's like,
out.
oh my god, did we just stumble onto some weird like hobo honor code I didn't know about?
That's called saying yes to things, people.
Hmm.
You just invite adventure into your life.
Dale was awesome. Of all the mistakes I've made, Dale was not one of them.
Mm-mm. Well, Dale was actually cool.
Yeah, Dale was a good guy. He just needed a place to crash.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't like,
He wasn't what?
I was gonna say he wasn't like actively like some psycho or drug addict or something.
Yeah. Like an actual down on your luck.
Yeah.
Stuff just didn't work out.
Oh my god, and he cleaned. That
Oh
was like
yeah, he used to do like the dishes and stuff, right?
even the people I live with wouldn't clean. It got to the point at the place I used to live where I was the only one cleaning in a place with like 12 people living there, and it got so bad that I stopped and I
Mm.
started showering at the college I went to. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
if you guys aren't going to clean, I'm not going to either. So I started using the restroom at the pharmacy across the street and showering at the college, and I wouldn't even use the bathroom at my place. It was so disgusting. I was just like, I have to get out of here. I have to move. I can't clean for 12 people. Like, this is nuts.
Plus, you lived
Yeah.
with like the just drug world.
Oh, yeah, it was just a three drug dealers and then like Carol and John. That was it. And then all of their spouses and then a couple of their friends. And I
And
was like, well,
ironically, the homeless people
yeah,
were the coolest ones.
three homeless people ended up living there before I left. And when I left, I didn't go get my stuff. I just left and didn't come back. So there's so much stuff I just left there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just never, I never want to see these people again. But yeah,
But
the
not,
place was,
but not Dale.
place, place got bad. I'll never
Yeah,
forget when I knew it was like, it got too real and it was like, it's time to go, was when this roommate I had named Dave, who was just the worst. He was Invader Zim incarnate.
in the worst of the worst. I
He was just
hated being there for that reason.
I'm Invader Zim as a human. That's what I am. I'm the worst kind of Deadpool fan. Here, here I am. There was a party and he was like, "Let's go up on the roof, guys. Let's go up on the roof." And I was like, "No, no, the stairs aren't safe. And to get on the roof, you have to walk on a rubber incline, and there's no guardrail." And everybody was shit faced. "Let's go on the roof. Come on, guy. Let's go." And he went up and he slipped and he fell off a 3-story building and he landed on a fence that was down on the ground. And I don't know if you've like there's like those Victorian wrought iron fences with like the spikes on top. He landed on a fence and the spike went into his armpit right here, Chet. went into his armpit, and came out of his collarbone. And
Yeah.
he was so drunk. He was so drunk. He was like, ah, shit. Ah. And he pulled himself with our friend Tom. He pulled himself off of it and got on a tricycle that didn't belong to us, some kid's tricycle. And he was like, I gotta go to the hospital. And then he rode himself to the hospital. And I was like, it's time to move out. Time to get the fuck out of here. Time to get out of here. It's time to get out of here. That thing was like 2 inches from going through his fucking skull.
Yeah. It's cool though.
Like, well, really good. Makes a good story.
I hated going there. It was like every weekend. I was just be
I
up
hated
there with you.
living there.
I know.
I
That's what I
fucking
was
hated
gonna
living.
say. It's
Oh,
like I can't imagine living there,
so
being
I
there and
just
being.
left.
I would just like go home and like tell my dad. I'd be like, "Yeah, Dan's just." I was like,
Crap.
"Dan's just living with the worst people,"
Dan's just in a nightmare.
and I just get to walk in and out of it.
So it was me and my roommate John, who I was actually friends with, and then our friend Carol. And it was like, let's get a place, the three of us. So we got this nice place, really good rent, really good neighborhood, awesome place, whatever. And then everybody was like, what if my girlfriend or boyfriend or friend just moves in? And I would get outvoted on everything. So then went from 3 people to 6 people. And then it went from 6 people to 9 people. And then it was just like, okay. And it just kept going from there. Wasn't supposed to be that way, but it just kept going. I was like, well, if you guys are moving all your friends in, I'm moving Dale in. And Dale's going to help me clean until I give up.
As soon as Pink Floyd banners start getting hung up where doorways used to be,
Oh my
that's when you
God.
gotta leave. You gotta move
Yeah,
out.
when cloth Pink Floyd the wall banners and Dark Side of the Moon banners are getting hung up everywhere, it's time to get out. You know you're in a different kind of world now.
You know everything's gonna start smelling. It's gonna get
Oh, yeah.
stinky in there fast.
That was the other thing, the amount of like cats they would just adopt off the street.
Uh huh.
I got a new cat. And it's like, bro, bro,
When somebody
no.
starts doing like fire dancing, you're like, ooh.
Oh God, that
I
was
think,
Mandy.
I think my dad's
Yep.
calling. I gotta go home. Dinner's ready.
Uh-huh.
My mom's yelling.
And I go, Mandy's gonna fire dance and I'm gonna use devil sticks. You guys want to come watch?
It's on the roof. It's always on
Hmm.
the roof.
On the roof, yeah.
Just a diddler on the
Yeah.
roof.
Bad time. Very bad time.
All those like 30 plus dudes who are there just to like meet
My
weeded
favorite
out
part of
college
that was
girls.
I'd come back home and spend the whole weekend with you guys. And I remember our other friend Dave would be like, why don't you want to like be in the city? And I'd be like, dude, like I would rather be anywhere else. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. But learned your lesson, right?
Yeah, I mean, I learned a lesson. I don't know if it was the lesson, but I learned a lesson.
I just mean never did it again. Not quite
I
like
learned
that.
it's no, I never lived with more than one person ever again, I don't think. But
Yeah, I used to go to those houses all the time in Boston when I lived there.
the big
Just
lesson
like
that I
20
learned,
people in one apartment that's meant for four.
yeah, there's so many of those commune houses, it's nuts. The big lesson I learned was how easy it is to just go, "Oh, I'm done with this life," and just leave and never go back and never tell anyone that you left. And just I'm a new as of right now, I'm a new person, and I'm just gonna pretend none of that existed and just I'm gone.
Just the
I'm
end
gone.
of the Bourne Identity.
Yeah, literally. I had so many missed calls asking where I was, where rent was, when am I gonna come get my stuff. Just never went back, never kept contact. Just oh, this is over.
Just the end of 28 days later.
Yeah, literally.
Just getting out. Just get out. Start a new life.
Hmm. Man, Yeah, I mean, mine was bad. I went to some really bad ones with you, parties in Boston. Some wild life forms up there.
Yes, creatures. Yeah, Zonar. The brush is from Krita. It does like cross hatching and all sorts of interlinking magnetic stuff with the brush. It's cool.
You ever like go to someone's house that's gross and you like open up the fridge to see if there's anything to drink and there's like weird fungus and shit in it?
Yeah, of course.
It felt like that going to some of those houses where like I'd open the door and I'd be like, "Oh, this is kind of fascinating. I didn't know this kind of life was possible." But also, this is disgusting. I need to get the fuck out of here.
I just remember when we went to one of those like I think it was a Halloween party, and there was just like a kid there that was just completely naked, and that was his costume.
Yep,
And we just sat and talked to him all
that
night.
was the party. That was the party we went to with Elise. Elise's friends. Yeah, I remember that. Elisa's rich friends that lived on Beacon Avenue.
Yeah.
I was like, well,
All right, cool. It's a cool world.
that was one of the most awkward things ever. I don't know if you remember this. A kid that we knew from high school that we used to make fun of showed up to the party, and he got too drunk, and he said he got his nerve up, and he came up to me and Dave, and he was like, "I just need to know something. Why did you fucking hate me in high school? Why were you so mean to me?" He like made it rush out too fast, and we were like, "If you want to talk about it, man, we can." And he was like, "I want to know." And we sat down in the remember this? We sat down in a back room with him and had like a 2 hour conversation about like this is why you fucking suck. This is why you're a person that nobody liked, and this is why we made fun of you. And this it's because of all these reasons and things that you did, and we still hate you for it. And like I'm sure you're a good person, and like I'm sorry if the making fun of you hurt, but like you did these things that we cannot forget or forgive. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. That was a weird
It
party.
was it was very strange the vibe because at the end of it he was like, "I really appreciate this," and like you guys are cool, we're chill. And we're like, this is ugh, like what is happening?
Yeah, I had more than a few of those
It was like
like come to Jesus with your old friends moments.
it was like cross-examining where I was like, did you or did you not used to brag about putting drugs up your ass and call it barbecuing and invite everybody to the barbecue so you could put drugs up each other's ass? Did you or did you not do this? He was like, well, I mean, I wasn't the only one. I was like, sir, I'll repeat the question. It was like a court case. Did you or did you not say that you were going to the barbecue and invite people to the barbecue to put drugs up your ass? Okay, so you did. And because of this, we hate you. And because of this, you were made fun of for a period of 3 years by the individual to my left.
And can you blame me for making fun of you?
Yeah,
And can you blame me? You called it barbecuing and you put it in your butt
yeah.
and you invited us to the
Did you or did you
barbecue.
not invite me to the barbecue, sir?
In
Sir?
retrospect, inviting people to the barbecue because that's what you do is funny. It
Sir.
is funny, sir. It is a funny it's a funny gag.
Did you or did you not challenge me, myself, Daniel Warren, to a fight? Did we not create posters for the fight with drawings of the two of us fighting each other? And did you not bail on the fight because you said, and I quote, "I can't go out, my mom grounded me"? Were you not 16 at the time, sir? Sir,
Doesn't check
sir.
out.
Hmm. For the offense of being grounded at 16 and bailing on a fight. And only wearing sunglasses exclusively for 4 years straight. Wearing sunglasses to school and refusing to take them off.
It's exciting.
It was good. That was a very weird party.
That was extremely weird.
Barbecuing. Was that a thing that like everyone did everyone in the
I don't
country
know
call
if
that
everyone
barbecuing?
called it barbecuing, but it's definitely a thing that people did.
I know it's a thing. I just didn't know if it was called barbecuing everywhere because that
I
was
think
that
we
was like
just got too close to the Juggalo sun, and then we started seeing outlier
yeah,
things.
they were juggalos.
Yeah, that was the key difference. They started out as ravers, and then migrated over to juggaloness and
Mm-hmm.
juggalonity, and then they started barbecuing and everything else.
Do you remember Do you remember the freedom fighter in our school, our own Martin Luther King,
Who?
who said, "I'm going to end the fight
Oh,
between
between
skaters
skaters and
and
goths.
goths.
I do remember, yeah.
I'm gonna be the first skater goth.
And
I'm gonna end the beef between skaters and goths. We've lost too many people. I'm
and
going to
eh,
be a skater and a goth."
and everybody was confused because we didn't know that there was a problem between skaters and goths.
Yeah.
Having
Yes.
skateboarded for nearly a decade, it's like I
Hmm.
never saw this. I never saw this
And
battle ensue.
he would say things like, "I'm tired of people thinking I have to be in one box or the other. Like, I'm not just a skater or a goth. I'm a skater goth." We're like, "No one has said anything to you about this. No one cares. No one even likes you. Like, what are we? What?
It's
What is
wild.
this?"
It is wild what kids get up to in their heads.
It is
It's like
very,
that
very
thing
good.
of like you think everybody hates you, and then you realize that nobody really thinks about you. Oh
Yeah.
shit, this
You're
is
not important enough to
worse.
do it.
it's
Yep.
it's worse.
You're not even important enough to
Oh
hate.
no, I spent all this time worrying that other people are thinking about me, and nobody was.
Unless you're that kid from the party and you're like, "I've been thinking about the fact you guys hate me forever." And we're like, "We did actually." Here's all the reasons why.
I don't think I think I
Uh,
remember that. I was partially empathetic to him, and we both
yeah,
were. That's why we talked to
we
him.
weren't
But
yeah, we weren't being mean in that
no.
conversation. We were just like, "Bro, in high school, you were the worst, man."
I just remember the my energy feeling like, but you get it, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's exactly what you were doing.
you get it though.
You were
It
doing your
is
version of the first step to recovery is
it
admitting
is
there's a problem.
funny.
Yeah.
It is
Can you
funny
yeah.
though. Like you know it's
It is
funny, right?
hilarious what you were doing, yeah.
Hey, if you were doing it to be funny, this is a different
Genius.
conversation.
Yeah.
It is good.
You can't dress like a juggalo and invite everybody to the barbecue
You can't
and not expect a little bit of
pushback.
fun. Yeah.
Some pushback.
Yeah.
It's the white blood cells
Hmm.
rushing to the that blood pouring out. Or societal wound.
What else? There was that naked kid at the party. I do remember that. Trying to think if anything else happened at that party that was amazing.
I mean,
Was
those
that the
people
one?
were nuts.
Was that the one where the kid had been making his homemade cider for like a year and he went to get it and the fucking bottle exploded and cut his hands open? Or was that a different one?
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember. It's entirely possible it was that.
Yeah, where he was like, "This is gonna be so good." I put it in there. There's like hints of honey and lavender.
Yes, I remember that, and they all exploded. That's
They just
right.
all they blew up one after the other because I think the glass from one hit the next one. It was like
Yeah,
just bragging about the subtle hints of flavors to immediately just lacerated with blood, just glass and cider everywhere.
I mean, there's nothing funnier than somebody being really excited to show you something and then having it completely fail and backfire.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
Like being like
whiplash is
little
just
kid excitement for what I'm about to
yeah,
show you. Then no.
covered in blood.
Yeah,
That was very good.
I was talking to my trainer today
Mm,
about like he's kind of inching towards the idea of doing psilocybin,
great.
and I was just like, hey man, I was like, if you want to do it with me, you can. And I was like, I just want to warn you that if you're going, I was like, if you're going to a dark place, I was like, we don't know each other that well. I was like, if you're cool with
Mm.
crying in front of me,
Mm.
I was like, then go right ahead, dude. I will join you there.
Different kind of training.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll
He's
be his.
hmm,
He'll train your muscles, and you'll be his spirit guide.
yeah. I'll be a spirit animal.
Hmm. You should just lie to him before you do it. Be like, "Now listen, when you take this, I might appear to you in a different form, like a wolf or an owl."
And that's me doing that. That's just what I can do. what you can do might be different. You might be able to jump
Uh,
over the house by the time we're done,
the important thing to
or
remember is
run
that
fast.
if you feel like you can do something when you're on it, you probably can because you're going to be enhanced. Okay.
Yeah, for me, it was rocket feet. I was so fast after that. For 3 weeks after that.
Uh, you might think that if you rub your hands together, you can start a fire, and you probably can. So be careful. You
Yeah,
don't want to burn
don't
anything
do
down.
it
Okay.
right in front of me.
Don't. Yeah.
I don't want to freaking die and burn down the house, dude.
It's going to unlock your latent abilities. Okay. So just
I am your shaman.
be responsible. Yeah.
I am your shaman. All right, let's do it.
If
Hoorah,
at any
baby.
point during this trip you think that I'm dying or that you're dying, that's true. We are. Death is a part of life. So chase that.
Yeah, it's ego
Chase it.
death, buddy. Come with me.
Call that the call that the death hole. Okay.
He
You
turns
want to
back
run
to me,
down
and
that
I'm a
death
little
hole.
baby wolf.
It's very
Come on.
if I was doing that and someone said they wanted to try it with me for the first time, I would legitimately like rent some animals and have them like wandering around the apartment and be like, those aren't there. They're not there.
Don't look
Like
at them.
focus on me.
You give them energy. You make them bigger.
Or be like, what do you mean? What do you mean a wolf cub?
You see a frog? Where is it?
Yeah. Where
It's in my
just
hand.
crawl just crawling on your face, just a tree frog. That's not there. Look at me. Look at me in the eyes.
It's not
That's
there.
not there.
This frog, it's not here. And then I put it in my mouth. Start eating it.
Yeah. In ancient Egypt, frogs were a symbol of chaos. I think you're going through a lot. Look at me.
Yeah. Hey, hey, look at me. Yeah, that would
I
be
think the
cool.
best thing I think the best thing you could do is just stop responding to him. So he starts freaking out, thinking he's not there or you're not there, and then after be like, I was talking to you the whole time. The whole time. I don't know where you went. It's like you weren't even here anymore.
I had a I had an ethereal experience the other night.
You lost all your money on Ethereum.
No. Uh
Oh, okay.
I was so I'm not afraid of ghosts if they were real, and I don't care.
Great premise to a story. I'm liking this already.
It's just to tell you, I if I I fully accepted that if there are such a thing as ghosts, then I will be cool with it. So anyway, um, I was walking out of the house, and I debated whether or not to tell Kim for a while.
Oh boy.
So I was walking out of the house, and it was at night, and Kim and I just go for walks like every night, like walk like a few miles.
Hmm.
And I was walking by the kitchen, and my kids are asleep. My wife's upstairs. I look in the window to the kitchen, and I just see a silhouette of a man walk to the garage.
Oh.
And out loud, I just went, God damn it. I went, God damn it. And then I just went for a walk.
Is that
I,
the end of the story?
I went into the garage and I looked and I was like, okay, it wasn't real. I hope I hallucinated. I
That's
was
it.
like
That's
that.
the
I was
story.
like that better not be a ghost.
You just saw a specter or someone broke into your garage.
Yeah, no, it was literally just a black shadow. I had the lights were on in the kitchen. It's not like that it was dark. I saw it move through. So it could legitimately have just been like a hallucination. But I just saw it go through and I literally said out loud, I went, God damn it. I was like,
Very good.
and I was like, I might not tell her.
Yeah,
Just because I don't
I
want to
get
freak
that.
her out. I don't want her to
Yeah,
think
of
that there's
course.
something in the house.
But also, if I was Kim, I would assume you were just joking.
Yeah, I did see it though. For better,
I
for worse,
mean,
whatever it is.
you've had other paranormal experiences.
Never like that. I've never seen anything like that.
What about the shit when you were a kid?
Well, yeah, but it's hard because of that stuff is like, I don't know if it's like that thing of like, how much am I reinforcing it by telling the story? Like, and it didn't happen that way.
Sure.
or how much of it is just like a little kid's imagination in general.
I mean, are you comfortable with me talking about that?
What about like the closet and stuff? I've talked about that on here like a bunch of times.
Do you remember when you were 15, you called me at like 2 in the morning, or we were on AIM actually, and you were like, "Can I ride my bike and stay at your place? I can't be in this room." And I was like,
Oh,
"Is it that bad?"
dude, my room was brutal. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody in the chat's gonna. I don't care if you believe this or
We were
not. It
on we
doesn't
were on
matter to
instant
me.
we were on instant messenger, and you were like, "I need to get out of this house. Can I ride my bike down there and stay with you?" And I was like, are you serious? Is it that bad?" And you were like, "I cannot be here. I can't be here." And I was like, "Okay." And yeah, you came and crashed for like the whole weekend.
Yeah, stuff used to like fall off my shelves and things, and like, do not get it twisted. I'm not saying that stuff's real. I don't know if it's real. All I'm saying is that if I got freaked out all the time, and yeah, that stuff happened in my room, and I was just like, all right. I used to wear, like I told you on here, I was like, I used to wear headphones to go to sleep because I just was like, if stuff
Yeah.
falls off my shelves, I won't hear it. I'll just sleep.
Mhm.
And that's how like I would sleep in my room. And then for a lot of times I just left. And then when I stopped living at home, all that stuff went away. So
I wonder
I
if it's
left
still
when I was
there.
16, and I was just like, all right, as soon as I can, I'm leaving.
I wonder if there's like some halfway house person like your mom's taken in who's living in that room, and they're just they think they're detoxing, and it's really just a ghost like knocking shit down. They're like trying to get off whatever drugs they're on, and there's just just a ghost, an actual ghost. Uh,
Oh, it's true. There's
and your
so many of
mom's
those
like,
people in my house.
yes, it's like a halfway house now. And your mom's probably like, it's just the substances leaving your body. You gotta find God. And like it's just a real
It's
ghost
not
shaking
happening.
everything.
Carol, it's not happening.
How did I never think about that till now? That's amazing. That's definitely happening to
Just
somebody.
just gaslighting her.
Oh, that's really funny. Oh man.
That's the only thing that makes me feel like whatever it was, like I don't know what it is, but like
Hmm.
whatever that stuff was, did
That
happen
night lady.
there and went away. Like went
Yeah.
away completely. Like I mean that like it's not like that stuff happened and then I was like a secret medium that oh everywhere I go now I see see stuff. No, it just stopped completely. It was just the house.
Yeah.
It wasn't my fault. I didn't do
The
anything and I
only
didn't want it to happen.
the only ghost I saw in Dave's house was when I would stay over. I'd hear creaking floorboards, and then I'd see a shadow of feet stand in front of Dave's door, sometimes for up to 10 minutes in silence. And then after 10 minutes of silence, I'd hear
Pop, 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 pop.
slamming on the door. And it was Dave's mom. She'd open the door and go, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Ah, ah."
Yeah, it's crazy. That was
We're
scarier.
making we're making Super Nintendo games in RPG Maker. We're not doing drugs.
I know. When I think back on that stuff, I'm like, could we have been doing more innocent shit
Yeah, we're trying to figure out a name for a hero with white hair who saves the world in RPG Maker.
without being embarrassed?
Yeah.
We're fighting that. We're riding the line.
Dave's perfecting how to make an active time battle system.
Dan, the key
Uh,
to everything is right here. What is it? A Japanese to English translation book.
there you
Now
go.
we can be otakus.
Yep.
We can change gaming forever.
I remember you like she thought we were like shooting up and you were like reading code. You were like reading code that like Wishmu wrote for like
I know, just the
you're like,
dorkiest shit ever.
so this is how you do a combo system. Okay. Hmm.
I know.
It's pretty
RPG
good.
Maker ruled. I mean, come on. How could you not like it?
Yeah.
How could you not?
You're like, wait a minute. I can rip the chipsets from my favorite Super Nintendo games and build my own towns.
Yeah. Look at these tiles I'm
Excuse
using.
me. Excuse me.
Yes, I'm editing tiles from
Yeah, Mom, I'm
Terranigma.
editing tiles.
These aren't
Yes,
from.
this is a tile set from the unreleased Rudra no Hihao. Treasure of the Treasure of the Rudras for the Super Nintendo Entertainment
Yeah, don't
System.
you know anything, bitch?
Jesus. Yes, these graphics are more advanced than Final Fantasy VI. They had other games that never made it here, Mom.
Yeah, you don't know. My dad worked at Nintendo.
He did. We only had one kid in my circle who ever said anything like that.
Yeah, I was telling Kim the story
It
about the
was
beers, which
that was the one.
which I'm happy to tell now because it's been so long, and we're not
Hmm.
using it in Steve Volume 3 anymore, which we were going
No,
to, but
we were
we've
going
moved
to.
past that. The jokes are better
Yes,
now, but
yes.
that story was very funny. These are my beers.
These are my beers.
You want to tell it? You probably know it word for word. I told
I
it to
want
the
to hear
best
you
of my.
tell it. I want to hear you tell it, and then I'll tell you if you missed anything.
Okay. So,
There's one element I think you missed.
all right.
So let's
So
hear it.
he's in an alleyway, you know,
Yep.
in Middleborough, Massachusetts, which if you know,
Yep.
not many alleys, unfortunately. It's
Hmm.
not a city. It's
Nope.
definitely a town.
It's probably two alleys.
Yes, a lot of people would call them driveways, but
Hmm.
alleys for the sake of the story. Okay.
If it's a store, if it's a driveway next to a store, it's an alley.
Yes. So
There
he's in
you
an alley,
go.
just just drinking. I'm pretty sure he was
Yep.
drinking.
Hmm.
You know, as 15-year-olds do, or however old he
Yep.
was at the time.
He was 16 at the time.
Okay. Oh, that's the way I told it to Kim. So far so good.
Good
Um,
start.
so he's drinking his beers. You know how it goes. You're a cool
Drinking
guy.
beers
You're
in
in
the
an
alley. You're
alley. You're
16,
you're
yeah.
16 and you're by yourself.
Drinking beers in an alley at 16, as you do.
Who drove you there? Doesn't matter.
Mm.
So you're there and you're drinking. You're getting fucked up. And then in
Yeah.
comes some dangerous people. We're talking a group of guys and a girl come down this
Hold
alley.
on.
Yes?
Very important, very important element of this that I'm going to remind you of.
Go ahead.
Do you remember the race of the people?
No, I don't.
When he told this story, chat. This is only important for one reason. Okay. Number one, two reasons. When this kid told this story to us forever ago, you have to understand that at the time where we lived in Massachusetts was probably one of the whitest places in the world. Like I think there were like two black people in our entire like school. Like, and this kid telling us this story. So number one, it's obviously a lie when he says it, and number two, it's racist.
Yes, of course.
So he said it was a group of black kids that walked up to him.
Did he? Okay, I forgot that part.
Yes, he did. So go ahead.
Okay, so anyways, this group of black kids come down the alley. He's drinking his beers in peace, or so he thinks. And they come up and they go, "Yo, give me those beers." And he says, "You ain't getting these beers. These are my beers."
These are my beers.
And they say, "Give me those beers or else." And he's like, "Or else what?" Guess what happens next? There's a fight that ensues. He beats up
Hmm.
every guy. Now, there's
Yep.
more than one of these guys. I'm going to guess there's three. I'll give
Hmm.
him the benefit of the doubt.
I don't remember him saying a number. I just remember him saying it was a group of guys. I don't think he ever put a number on it.
Okay, so he beats up all these guys, right?
Hmm.
Obviously, that means that he has his beer is safe.
Yep.
Up comes, little twist ending, up comes the girl from the group.
Yes.
She was previously aligned with the dudes that she was with, but she saw the prowess, strength, and
Manliness.
capability of this young man.
Hmm.
And she decided this was the one for her.
Mm-hmm.
and she gave him her number.
Yep.
Can you believe that? What a stroke of luck.
Yeah.
That's the jackpot. That's if you're pulling that lever and jackpot, like you get to keep your
Yep.
beers, you beat up the guys, you get the girl. Come on.
So then our friend Brock says to him, "Where's the girl's number? Let's call her." And do you remember his response?
I don't. This is where my memory fails me.
He said, "I threw it away. I don't need girls who hang out with guys like that."
Whoa. Whoa,
Ah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it's kind of fun having liars in your circle just so you can, like, listen to them embarrass themselves. I miss it.
Mm-hmm.
I miss that.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination.
Yeah, it was very cool. Very cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. So not only did he fight off a whole group of people, not only did he get a girl's number, not only was he drinking underage, because why would he get carded? Look at him. He's such a specimen. But also he's virtuous because he could have fucked that girl, but he chose not to because she runs with a bad crowd.
Yeah.
Runs with a bad crowd. He doesn't need girls who hangs out with guys like that. Doesn't need it.
Anyway. So, yeah,
A
chat.
hero.
That's what happens when you mess with the best.
Mm-hmm. We took that story out of our book.
Yeah, we took it out of the book. We had a liar character in the book,
We did. We did.
but he wasn't funny enough to keep for the whole thing. So we just decided he gets the axe.
It is funny the little things. Like, so this group of guys comes up. Not so five guys come up to me. Not so these three dudes walk up. Just a group, just an amorphous, just a group of guys, and I fight them all. It's like there's no detail of like so the first guy he swings at me and I duck out of the way, and then the second guy it's just a group of guys, a gaggle of geese.
I like
They
the
just come up to me.
Isaac saying it on top of that. Also racist.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, he covered
Yeah,
every base.
yeah,
It's a racist revenge story where
it's
you get
very
the
good. Yeah,
girl and get your beers.
directed by Clint Eastwood.
Mm,
There it is.
true.
It's his own. It's his own. Fucking what's that movie? My
Grant
God,
Morrison.
Gran Torino. There you go. You were close. You were close.
I was just trying to give you a tether.
No, you got it.
Sometimes you just aim a word that feels similar. Hopefully the
This
other
isn't a
person gets
Baron.
it.
This isn't a Bernstein memory, right? He does sing the song at the end of Gran Torino, right?
What?
At the end of Gran Torino, does he sing the song? Clint Eastwood, when the credits are rolling, isn't he like, "I heard down the street in my Gran Torino"?
I
Isn't
hope
it
so.
him singing it?
I honestly can't remember. The movie wasn't memorable enough.
Ooh.
There's some there's some crazy parts of that.
Yes. Oh, Gran Torino end theme. My God. It's true. He does sing it. Oh no. He wrote the song and he sings it. Okay. Great. Very good. I remember the credits rolling and that song starting and the guy starts singing. I'm like, hold on. That sounds like a very old man. It's is it just Clint Eastwood singing a song about the movie he was just in? The answer is yes.
That'd be awesome if every movie had that.
Be great.
Can you imagine if like Star Wars ended with that and George Lucas was just singing a Star Wars song at the end? That'd be
Joaquin Phoenix comes
fucking
on and he's like,
awesome.
I was the Joker. I guess it would be the director, right? Sure.
Yeah, it has to be the director. He has to have
The
no.
director.
He has to have
I forgot
no
because Clint Eastwood's the
talent
star
in
too,
that lane. He doesn't have to have any talent
right?
in that. He needs to struggle.
George Lucas, yeah.
But it's important to leave your
Star
fingerprint.
Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
You just watch Star Wars.
Yeah, Luke
Be very good.
Skywalker. That's his dad.
Very good.
That would actually be kind of awesome.
Should
Like
be a
I'm
new
thinking about
rule.
how I feel about like when I'm making like that comic, and I'm like, God, I
Mm,
need to try and do every part of this. Like
mm,
I need to do the handwriting for the font. It needs to feel like completely me. That's like that, but
yep.
in that way.
So you're saying for the Kickstarter you do for it, you're gonna sing a song about Starville.
Yeah, of course.
Great. Featuring the hit song Starville, written and performed by Dave Raposa,
The author, creator,
author,
co-founder,
creator, Starville, president,
entrepreneur.
CEO.
It's funny how the word entrepreneur is so linked to stuff I hate that I don't want to be one.
Oh, it's gone now. Yeah, entrepreneur is just I drop ship and I do crypto.
Yeah, just technically, by
Yeah.
definition, yes, I am.
Yes,
But
but you don't want
if you're
that at
talking about
all.
my pride, I'm not.
Yeah.
How do I see myself? Well, not that anymore.
There's words that are just gone. Like I can't say like I'm checking my finances. You
I'm
can't say
a
it.
I'm a go-getter
Gone.
now. That's what I am now.
Yep.
Just a guy.
Yep. You're going and you're getting it.
You know, like when a guy beats a drum and it's
That's me.
his
It's his own drum.
and he does it.
You know when
That's
a
what
guy
I do.
gets a drum so he can beat it and it's his.
Yes, that's me. That's
And
what I
then
do.
maybe he marches to that beat.
Just don't get me mixed
Oh,
up with Gary Vaynerchuk.
yeah.
I always think
Very
of like
funny.
those entrepreneur videos where those guys are like, "You got to get your life together, buddy. Like, what are you doing?" And like,
Yeah.
it's always like a chubby guy who just has a little dough face, and he's like staring at him, lifeless. And
Hmm.
then he's like, "Why are you so fat?" You're just like, "What are you doing?
Yep.
How is this part of entrepreneurial lesson?"
Picture yourself in
It's
5 years from
it's
now.
just bullying
What do you
this
look
guy,
like?
and you're like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah. It's a proxy, so the audience goes, I don't want to be a doughy fat boy. I want to be this other guy. If my choices are these two people, I don't want to be that one. There's definitely not 80 million other choices of people I can be. It's that guy or that guy.
Yeah.
I choose that one.
Am I the best looking guy in the world? No, I'm not. But I'm fit and I do what I can to look the best that I
Yeah.
can so that I can do the best that I can. Those guys crack me up so much. I love watching them. They're very funny.
No, they're amazing. One of the funniest ones I saw was I watch way too many of those because they're always in my reels and they're so fucking funny. But one of the best ones ever was a guy who was like, people always say that women are attracted to men who are funny. Okay, well let's break that down. Whenever they do the okay, let's break that down. Let's see what that really means. A
And you're
funny
like,
man
you're
isn't
already
it?
not funny?
A funny man is an intelligent man. Okay, what does that mean? It means he's smart enough to construct a joke. He's speaking two different languages, the language of speech and the language of humor. Okay. What does that mean? That means he's probably smart enough to secure resources for a safe life later down the line, which means she's not choosing him because he's funny. She's choosing him because he's a provider of resources.
He's a protector.
Like, can we just not?
He's a
How
protector.
about,
That's what he is.
how about he's, how about he's funny
He
and
says
laughing
truth to
is fun.
power, Dan. That's
And
what he
I
does.
want to feel, laughter makes me feel good. So I want to be around the one that does it. No, no, no. It's intelligence. And intelligence means you're going to gather resources.
I
I like how
analyzed this for weeks.
I like how I like how every aspect of life to those guys is StarCraft. Like we need resources to build pylons, and pylons attract partners. And oh god,
It's just a grunt and Warcraft. Okay.
it, stop poking me. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, these guys rule.
And whenever they do the, all right, let's break that down. Let's think about that for a minute. That's my favorite thing they do.
All right.
All right, what is that? What is okay? What does that mean?
In the hands. You got to do all
Yeah,
the hand movements.
yeah.
You got
All
to
right.
point at a lot of people. Make sure your hands are
Yeah.
always near your chest or in front of your belly and
Hmm.
they're ready to move. If your hands aren't moving, I don't believe you.
When they say never tell a woman what you're really feeling, what does that mean? Okay, let's break that down. Stoicism. It's an ancient art. Goes back to Marcus Aurelius. Oh,
My
so
favorite
dumb.
thing about all those is they're like, never make a decision out of emotion. Just remove it entirely from your life. Just start thinking completely logically about everything.
Never make a decision based on emotion.
Never even
Take
think
emotion
about
out
how
of
you
all of
feel
your
about it.
take all your never make a decision based on emotion. Take all the emotion out of all your decision making. Now think about how sad and pathetic you are. Buy my crypto.
I
Buy my
know.
course.
I love
Take
the
all the
guys that
emotion.
try and make the argument that like zero emotion in every decision is the best way forward, and you're like, well, then you're not human, dude.
I
Then you're
just love
not human
I
anymore.
I love the one two of take all the emotion out of your decision making. You sad loser. Now buy my course on how to be not be a sad loser.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna
like
train you how to stop what you just did.
make a decision based on emotion right now buying my course that says don't do that.
Yeah, you feel really bad right now, right? About who you are, everything. Well, buy this.
Very funny.
You will get out of that. I promise. Do you make 600K a year and how come
Oh
you're not doing
god.
this? I can get you ripped in 10 seconds.
How to make $2,000 a day using this simple Amazon hack. Very good.
Yeah. If I could in another life, I would like to be in one of those courses, like just run one, do the
Sure.
headset, do everything, yell at people,
Yeah.
and then like months into it reveal that it was all a lie
It is very funny.
and just go, guys, I just manipulated you for so long. Do you realize that that's the real problem? Like, we got
Yeah.
to do
I'm waiting
something
for
about
one of
this.
them. I'm waiting for one of them to do that as an out when they get like sued for fraud or something. Be like, this was all a bit, guys. This was all a bit,
Some of them
and
do
you
that.
fell
I
for
think
it.
like Andrew Tate did that, didn't he?
He's done a few weird things.
Where
He's
he
done a
like
few
kind of
like
told people he was doing a bit, didn't he? That he, like he's just like fucking with those people.
when he got sued and put in jail, he tried to say that all the trafficking stuff was a bit,
That
but
was
like
the bit.
he was
It's the
that
least
was the
funny
bit.
bit of all
Yeah.
time.
I know. Especially when you're selling a course on how to do it step by step. But yeah, he
Jesus.
tried to say that it was all that's just a character. That
Oh,
guy that told you how to fly women out to your country and turn them into models and make money off them and steal money from their taxes. That's a character I do. It's kind of like it's kind of like an SNL thing I do, where it's like, what even is reality? Hey, no, yeah, that whole thing was very, very funny.
yeah, it's crazy.
The funniest thing he ever did was make all of his money selling porn and then turn around and be the cure for porn by teaching guys how to be masculine and say porn's evil. That's very funny to me.
Hmm.
That's like making $1 million selling drugs and then opening a clinic to help people out. It's very, very funny.
uh, Gatakai says, "Wow, this is really good art for a beginner. How long have you been drawing for?" Just about 6, 7 months. I just kind
That's
of got
cool.
started doing this.
What prompts are you using?
Um, Prompts?
Yeah.
Uh, um, dead guy, dead guy spear, knight, warrior, crestfallen
Uh,
spirit.
Crestfallen Spirit.
Yeah, you just add in flavor
Wow.
text.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm a bit verbose.
That's really cool. Have you tried
Sometimes,
adding in authors yet?
oh yeah, Stephen King's in there.
Like an Ernest Hemingway skeleton?
Yeah, yeah,
There you go.
I
Yeah.
do. Cormac McCarthy, it's in there.
That's really cool. Yeah.
It is cool.
Very good. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, man. Not a lot of
No
people
problem.
are. I'm looking at you,
Oh,
Kimmy.
I am for now.
Thanks. That's enough. Oh, love drawing a stone wall. Give me a
Oh,
stone.
I didn't tell you. I called my old trainer to tell him that I lost 80 pounds because I
Uh,
haven't talked to him in like 2 years. And I was like, I'm
he
gonna
said,
reach out
chalk
and see
that
how he's
up to who
doing.
gives a shit.
I was like, I'm gonna reach out and see how he's doing because like he was going through some stuff with his injury, and I was like, I'll
Yes.
just check on him. So I call him up, and he's like, we're talking for a while, and he goes, "You got any plans for the fourth?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm having a big party." I was like, "You should come out." And he was like, "Oh yeah, what are you doing?" And he made me like describe all of it. He's like, "What's on the menu?" And I'm like, told him, and he's like, "Who's coming?" And I told him. Then he goes, "Oh man, that sounds fucking awesome. I won't be there. It sounds great though." I was like, "That's so funny. That is the funniest. That's the most Massachusetts thing." It sounds awesome. I won't be there. Yeah, no, no, I definitely won't be there. It sounds great though. Like after making me describe it,
That's really good.
I laughed so hard. Like that's so fucking funny. So mean. the,
Hmm.
the hyping someone up and then slashing the tires immediately is so funny.
Yeah. Is this
It
Steve in his
feels like
glory days? No, not yet.
it feels like that Tim and Eric bit.
What one?
You're a cow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
capiche.
I'm gonna take you out back and get wet with you. You look pretty good. What are you kidding?
Good
You're a
enough for a
cow.
poke. Throwing a
Yeah,
drink in
good
her
enough for a
face.
buck. One of the best bits they ever did.
Mm-hmm. Man, it actually is a lot of fun painting craggly rock.
I feel that way about tree bark.
Yeah, certain textures like that are very just kind of zone out.
Oh, the ultimate for me is pitted metal,
Yeah,
like metal with like rust and dents. I can paint that. I gotta be careful when I paint that. I get time loss. Whole day will go by painting pitted metal. Having a little too much fun.
getting a little
The
crazy.
way the way people talk about meditation and yoga, that's me with pitted metal.
Mm-hmm.
Just lose myself in it. Just realize I'm part of something bigger.
Yeah, time loss.
Mm-hmm.
That's always
Like, wait a
fun.
minute, spent how many hours rendering this pitted metal?
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
I love being alive. I love it.
What's that like?
It's cool. You get
Damn.
excited about stuff.
Hope I get there someday.
You wake up and you're like, yeah, I want to do stuff.
Damn, that's wild.
I want to be a dad. Did you watch that Connor O'Malley video?
I watched the
Corey's.
one of No, I didn't watch Chorus yet. I was streaming when you sent it to
Dude,
me.
Corey's is it's so good.
Yeah, I was streaming when you sent it. I'll
It's like
watch
a
it when I get home.
continuation of that same premise of like, yeah, and when I'm a secret agent, like, yeah, I lost my, or like, when I'm getting revenge, it's like, yeah, I'm thinking about my kids, but I'm also single.
Yeah, right.
It's like kind of that,
Uh,
but not. It's very good. I don't want to spoil anything because it's a short film.
did he use like a prompt to write that tour thing you sent me the other day? Because the way it was written felt artificial in like the best way.
No, I think he just made it feel like that.
Okay. Because if he did make it feel like that on his own, he's very good at that. It felt just wrong enough that I was like, did a computer make this up?
I mean, when the robot's doing stand up, when the AI is doing it,
Yeah, yeah.
that one's so funny.
My comedy based routines.
Yeah, if anybody likes, I don't know, surreal stuff, Connor
If you
O'Malley
like, I
just
think you should
made.
leave.
Yeah, I think you should leave is right. Yes, his new short Corey's on YouTube is really good. I just watched it this morning when he released it. I was like, oh,
I'm surprised he doesn't have a show yet. Like
I
that
know.
tires or whatever it is was like fine, but like his thing would be way funnier.
Yeah, he's he's got like, I mean, he's really creative. Like I like all his
Yeah.
stuff is so weird. Like it's just, I don't know. I like that stuff where you just don't see it coming at all. I'm like, oh, all right, nice. Like him
I
doing
get
that
like
AI stand up special is
that
very good.
that that stand-up special you sent me. At the end of it, I was like exhausted. It felt like a workout because it's just non-stop.
Yeah,
He's just like the whole time. He's just come on. Yeah. It's like it felt like I don't know. It was like hard to get through in a good way.
yeah, the spontaneous,
Uh,
super hard laugh at your own joke is like it's so unnerving.
yeah, the little dips are the best part when he's like, "Come on, yeah. Okay, but yes, I did want to get a Range Rover. Come on." Just little tiny moments of kind of quiet and then more screaming.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. That special is so good. I'm waiting for him to come back.
Hmm.
Do I still work on Warren Spector's project, or is it finished, canceled? Um, yeah, I'm still working on it. I took a break when my shoulder got hurt, and that was about it. But I'll be back on it um, on Wednesday. I'm laughing because Axel's apparently listening to us too
Oh, really?
in the living room, and Axel said, "He's my son. He's 5." He said, "Is this Papa talking right now?" And then he asked him. He said, "Is this boring?" Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Axel. Hey, Axie, it is boring. Your
What's
instincts are
going on,
correct.
X? What's going on, X?
You're dead on, Ax. Is this
Trust those
boring?
instincts.
Is this what boring is? Imagine discovering what
Hmm.
boring is from like listening to your dad. Is this boring? The
Is this
boring
what
I've
it
been
is?
hearing so much about?
Now you're a true parent.
I've heard a decent amount of boring, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. This
I
must be
finally
the boring.
understand. It's a high honor.
I hear Kim laughing out there, so he's definitely responding to what I'm saying. I should invite him here.
You should. Should be giving us live commentary.
Yeah, he could roast me live.
Hmm. Is this boring? Good podcast name.
Is this boring?
Yeah, it's a very good podcast name. Is this
That is
boring?
good. Apologies, everybody. It's super hot in here. I just turned on the fan.
It's the heat's fault. He's bored, Axel.
It's true. I'm running slow. It's not my fault.
No.
It's
You're an
steamy.
you're an exciting go-getter.
I'm an
Not an
entrepreneur.
entrepreneur.
Son, people like what I have to say. Why don't you?
Do you think if you wore those blue shirts with the white collar and the yellow tie, do you think your art would slowly get different the longer you wore that?
I think it would just be my relationship with my wife.
Yeah.
That'd be a huge chunk of it.
I'm trying to wonder if like
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Perception's a lot of it, right?
yeah. Like the clothing makes the man. If you started dressing like that and slicking your hair back like you were in Wall Street, I'm just wondering like what kind of art you'd start making.
Mm,
If you started dressing like an entrepreneur.
I don't know. It's a dangerous experiment. I don't know if I want to run it.
It's true.
It might change forever.
It's gonna be your vanilla sky.
Yeah, you might never find me again.
You're trapped in the tank. I'm so glad that scene from Vanilla Sky that was my personal meme for so long is finally getting used by people.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's such a good meme scene. I don't know why it took so long.
Yes, chat. I know. that this is phallic. All right.
I'm not even looking. What is it? The spear?
It's just the pillar behind him. That's the whole point. You got to put phallic imagery in your artwork if you want it
It's
to
like
be successful.
This one time in art school, we had a critique, and the professor made a girl cry because he was like, "It's really phallic," and she was like, "It's a lighthouse," and he was like, "Yeah, you're just gonna make it less phallic," and she was like, "How?" And she started crying because it like broke her brain because a lighthouse just is that. Like, that's great. Gonna make it look less like a tall thing with a bulbous end.
I do like the insecurity that you should avoid phallic imagery at all
Very funny.
costs. Like that's probably the funniest takeaway from like your
That dude,
professor, just like his
yeah,
uncomfortability.
that dude had like a radar for it. He would find it in places that no one else could even see it. It was insane. It was really, really crazy how obsessed he was with that.
I wonder how much he
I don't know
hated his
where
own
that,
penis.
I don't know, like, I'm wondering if it came from being an editorial guy in like the 70s or something. Like maybe the people he worked for were really sensitive about it or something, or if it's just his own insecurity. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure it was
His
part of
two
it.
his two defining traits were my first, like, the love of my life left me for Billy Joel, and now she's a supermodel.
Shit.
And then number two was I see penises everywhere and I'm scared of them, and I got to find them all and get rid of them. That was like the two things, the two big takeaways.
Well, we're all defined by certain things in our lives.
Yeah.
That was his. What do you call? Oh, is there a word for vaginal shaped imagery?
Sure. There has to be, right?
I guess. I have a lot of things to say, but I'm just worried that somebody from work's going to listen to this.
Somebody from work.
Yeah, I don't want to lose contracts. There's a
Hmm.
million jokes. Maddie, how dare you set us up for that?
The
There are so many
I guess
jokes.
I guess the opposite is yonic. All right.
Think outside the box,
Yonic.
Maddie.
Wow.
Don't acknowledge it.
Doing something phallic is thinking outside the box.
It's, it's true.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah,
What's in the box? Only what you take with you.
exactly. Only what you put in there. Only what you stuff in there.
I have to delete this stream.
Only what I can fit.
Shut up.
Yonic. There we go. That's disappointing.
This coffee's good.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
Kimmy makes cold brew. So,
Oh, nice.
got a glass of that. Delicious. Wonderful.
That's good stuff. Should we make any more cool sourdough?
All the time.
Yeah.
It's great.
That shit looked amazing.
It is. Ah.
What can we talk about that isn't boring for Axel?
What can we talk about?
Yeah.
Vampires
Vampire. All right, let's talk about vampires. Yeah.
and goblins. He's not listening anymore.
Yeah.
They turned it off.
Ah, too bad.
I told him a story. I just make up stories every night, which is cool because, he'll be like, I ask him, do you want me to read you one or do you want me to just make one up? And then he goes, make them up. I'm like, okay. So then I have to make up stories whenever I put him to
Keeps
bed.
sharp.
Yeah. Then I end up with a bunch of kid stories that I could turn into books if I wanted to.
Did you ever tell the Loic thing about the skeleton?
I don't really remember.
The
What was the
like blood
skeleton?
ocean.
Oh, that was Axel. That was his.
I didn't know if you were saving that or if you were going to talk about it.
I think I talked about it a while ago. Dan's just talking about my kids will come up with like little stories of their own. So like what happens is I tell a story, and then after I tell the story, they riff on it. So they'll come up with their own stories or add to mine. And one of the ones, because we have like there's a policy in the house where you can't say no to somebody's like premise. You have to
Mhm.
add. So that's like the going thing with everything. Um, Basically, I was telling some story about, I don't know, thunder bears. I don't know what it was. It's just, you just take cool things and combine them.
Mhm.
And Axel came up with this idea of this giant white and red dragon that was flying through the air, and it had a huge mouth, and inside of it had a whole ocean in its mouth. And he would puke out the ocean when it was fighting, and the ocean was a blood ocean, and it would pour onto
Mhm.
the ground, and then from the blood ocean an army of undead would rise out of it, and then you'd have to
Very
fight
good.
that army. He comes up with stuff like that all the time. Like that's like his cool ideas, and I'm like, that's the shit.
Directed by Hidetaka Miyazaki.
Yeah, he has some great ideas. The shark, I mean, the one I told that I liked recent, one of his home runs was the big shark, the sand shark that jumps out of the sand and throws up its own sword and then catches it in its mouth and then fights. I was like,
Feels
great
like he stole
idea.
the character. Yeah,
Great idea.
it's great.
He comes up with like ways that you'd beat it and all that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's got a lot of fun ideas.
Man, remember when X Cop was like good?
Mm-hmm.
The golden era of X Cop.
I don't really know what's happened with that. I mean, I know that his brother grew up,
Yeah. I
and
don't think
then
it's
there
a
was
thing
like a
anymore. I think,
TV show for like a second.
yeah, with Nick Offerman.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened to it.
Just died out.
Yeah, Bad Guy Earth was a great book.
Very good. Very good concept. I love that his partner kept changing from, what was it, other cop to
Dinosaur
dinosaur cop
Soldier
to flute cop.
is Dinosaur Soldier and like yeah, like a few different things. But the one that I liked the most was that they threw like handcuffs at somebody, and the
Mm.
handcuffs like wrapped around them and locked them, and then the handcuffs electrified them to death
Very good.
after they were
Very
handcuffed.
good.
It's
It's
really
an
funny.
excellent idea.
Just eliminates the point. That's like exactly what it's like talking to
Yeah.
my kids about stories. They just do stuff like that all the time.
It's the best kind of thing. Where the logic doesn't even have to be there. It's just cool and fun.
Oh yeah, they're obsessed. Goblins, fairies, trolls.
Mm.
It's their bread and butter. Killing. Just
Killing.
killing everything. That's not what I would do, Papa. I'd kill him. Nice.
My nephew just discovered that pain is funny. Somehow. He only wants to watch videos of people falling down staircases and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wonder what like flipped that switch.
I mean, it is inherently funny.
It is. It just, but it wasn't for him until very recently. Now that's all he wants to watch. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's very funny that that can just realize one day, like, wait a minute,
Well, like that's one of
this is
those things
awesome.
about like cultures that don't have like a lot of nuanced like comedy when it comes to like language based stuff. It's
Yeah,
all action based.
yeah,
It's like, you know, physical comedy. Like that's always the beginning of like a comedy movement. It's like
yeah.
everybody gets that.
Got to break it down like an entrepreneur now. Okay, so he
So
thinks
why does that
pain.
work?
What does that mean? Well, comedy comes from empathy, and everybody understands pain. So,
Entrepreneur.
God. Huh.
This isn't affinity. This is Krita.
So much writing last week.
I know. You got to do that again. I mean, I'm down to do
Yep.
that today if you're available.
I would have to be after I get back from the gym, which I think is going to be pretty close to when you call it done for the day.
Okay. Do you want to do tomorrow?
Yeah, what time are you thinking?
Like noon for you? Do you want to do
It's
that?
gonna can we go, I have training at noon. Can we go either before or after that?
Yeah. How long after that?
I'm done with training around 2. 2 my time, so noon for you.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be back by then.
Yeah, we had a good stretch there.
We're
Good.
just so close to done. I just want to get it done and do the read through and do the proofread and,
I know.
you know, look for the holes, finish it up.
I really like it.
Yeah, it's coming along really, really good. Very happy with it.
I wrote a bunch of Jack Threat stuff last night.
I wrote a ton of stuff for that other thing I was telling you about last week too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just a lot of writing last week. Felt good.
I should run by some Jack Threat ideas that I have.
Sure.
I've been like working out the whole premise of like what is it, what's happening, why, like, and then just
Dude,
ironing out every part of it.
the Jack Threat pitch we wrote for the TV thing was solid. I read that the other day. The little one paragraph. I was like, this is good.
Yeah, it needs a little. It just needs like a visual representation. It needs a book. It needs like a short story or something
Yeah.
in order to get that moving.
That those one paragraph pitches are my favorite thing to write. Those are so fun. They come
Yeah.
together so quick and there's no fat on them at all.
Yeah, they're great. It's a nice exercise too, just like a summation of an idea. Like writing literal like elevator pitch things is
Mhm.
very good practice for like, can you summarize your thing in a paragraph
Mhm.
and have it be compelling? Like that's a very nice exercise, I feel.
It's always an intro, a turn, and then a question. It's like, this is what the thing is, and this is how it is. But when this happens, and so is thrown into this, what's going to happen when this and this and this? It's like a weird little, it's great. It's got a setup, it's got a little cliffhanger, it's got a twist.
Like one of the things that I like to do that I've like learned just from doing all the stuff we've been doing
Mm.
is like for Jack Threat, like I'll take like the meat of the idea, like here's like a handful of things that will reveal what's happening, because I want, you know, the best part about like a thing is like you get the hook in the beginning and you're like, oh, what is it?
Right.
Like you need a good hook, like a good hook, like the best hook. One of them is the man in black fled across the desert and the gunslinger followed.
Yeah, just a perfect opening sentence.
Great. And
Yeah.
that's the Dark Tower, the beginning of the Dark Tower, the gunslinger.
Yeah.
Doesn't pan out.
No, but boy,
But
is it a good hook.
solid hook. And yeah, I think about that a lot. Anyway, my favorite thing to do is to take like all the basic things you figure out about your story, right? And then you think about like, how can I make it more, not just like mysterious, but just make the person who's reading it question it. Like, what is it? What was that? It's like rearranging scenes or like putting what happens here in the beginning versus like later on to be like, oh, that's like the more compelling thing that would then make the reader like, I know everything that comes, or at least a chunk of it. So like
Yeah.
if I know this, then I can set you up for something satisfying. You don't want to know everything because then it's more obvious. But like
Yeah.
setting it up that there's just this thing happening that sets
I like
events in
when
motion that are all questions is nice.
I want to say in is it It? One of Stephen King's better books. I can't remember what it is. I think it's It. He has a line like that that he repeats like 30 times before he tells you what's happening. I want to say in like it might even be like one of the first sentences. It's like the thing in the sewer had come back. And then he goes and he describes the characters and stuff and you kind of get lost in discovering who the characters are. And then he hits the brakes again and he goes, but he had to go home because the thing in the sewer had come back. And he does the same sentence again, and he does it like 30 times
Yeah.
before he even tells you what the thing in the sewer is. And like, I love that.
Yeah, like little things like that that like something the
Yeah,
audience, whoever's reading it doesn't know, and then you can like just leave that open and it's the whatever fun cool thing to figure out as you go.
right.
I love that sort of thing. So I'm trying to do that with like Jack Threat. I'm kind of just like rearranging. It's like you make a storyboard and then just rearrange the panels.
Yeah,
'Cause it's way too easy to be like, here's the linear story. Don't do
yeah.
the easiest version. Do like a
No,
version that's still cool, still cool. All the cool stuff happens, but
I was
have
so,
it come out in a different way.
I'm so bummed that Mindhunter fell off a cliff because like
Yeah,
their version of that with the BTK killer was setting up to be such a good payoff.
I know. I mean, honestly, the best one is the True Detective season
Oh yeah, it's
one.
great. Yeah, it's great.
I love all of that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It doesn't overstep the deeper, weirder stuff. It's just enough to not be too much.
Yeah, and it's never like straight up fantasy. It's never straight up
Nope.
hard
There's enough
cop
there's
drama.
enough there's enough plausible deniability that maybe what's happening is really happening. Maybe it's all in someone's head. Maybe it's the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
But also could be something spooky. Like yeah.
Carcosa.
Yeah, I like those where there's just enough that you're like, could be.
Mm-hmm.
Could be something real bad, but also could just be regular stuff.
Somebody asked Dan, "Are you still active online?" Dan's streaming right now
Yeah, I'm streaming right now.
at the same time I am.
I don't really post anywhere though. My Twitter's gone.
Mm.
Might get it back, but yeah, I don't really. There's not really anywhere for me to post.
Hold on, I gotta let Wiko out, guys. My dog. Hey.
So
Old dog. She needed to go out. Suddenly hits her. She's like, "Oop, later."
how old is she now?
16.
Jeez.
Yeah, she's doing surprisingly good.
Yeah, I was gonna say she seems like she's doing well.
For an old dog, yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
it's not fading too quick. She's like blind, and other than
Jeez.
that, it's like, she still like acts like a puppy when I'm getting food and stuff. It's like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
got an appetite, still hopping around. You're not biting the kids. It's good.
Oh, painting tree roots for the whole day.
Hmm. Just starting to get into the little detaily parts of this guy,
Mm.
which are fun to do for me. Messing around with the armor. Okay.
Oh man. I'm at that point where I have to decide if it's going to be a more coffee night or a stop drinking coffee night.
I feel like usually a stop drinking coffee night's better.
It is, but
Unless
I
you
am,
absolutely have to do the opposite.
I am overdue on this painting.
Oh, really? Are you late?
Well, I got super sick for 2 weeks, and then they were like, "We'll
Oh,
give you
that's
an
right.
extension." Yeah, I was like mega bedridden,
Mega
but
bedridden.
yeah, it was great. It's the kind of thing where you wake up because you think you hear something, and you realize it's your own self going, those awesome fevers where you just make noises without realizing it. You're like, "Oh, maybe I'm dying."
Somebody said, Dan, I remember you used to do tons of character art for clients. You still doing that?
No, I'm just doing like big illustration stuff for one client right now and working on the books with Dave. I was mostly doing character art for miniature RPGs and Pathfinder and some independent D&D stuff. But yeah, I did a lot of that for a long time. I haven't done characters in a while. Just doing more illustration stuff. Man, it is funny how many miniature designs I did that I never posted. There's like 1,000, or literally 1,000.
Do you still are you posting stuff up on like Instagram? Have you put up any artwork that you've done lately?
Only the stuff I've been doing for Elden Ring. I haven't posted any of my personal stuff. I
Yeah,
was gonna
you
wait
can
till
check
this.
out Dan's Instagram. He's got some of that
Yeah,
stuff and then lots of cooking.
it's Daniel Warren art with underscores. But
Cooking
yeah,
and dogs.
cooking and dogs, and a whole lot of mostly cooking. Yeah, I've got to do a big dump sometime of everything. There's probably like 30 things I should post. I just haven't posted.
What's
Definitely
like
gonna
the
take a
best?
break.
No, I'm talking
Mm,
now. You stop.
Go ahead. Yeah, I gotcha.
Uh, what's the best like kind of like portfolio site now? I'm in that phase where I've been doing this long enough where like I just need to have some upkeep on my shit without paying
This,
a
I
fuckload
mean,
of
you
money
mean like
for
an
a real
actual?
designer.
I'm assuming it's just gonna be one of those like do-it-yourself ones, right?
Yeah, but is any of those really good now? Does anybody in the chat know? I'll wait because I got chat has to catch up to me talking. Oh man, almost at the phase in this little thing I'm doing where I can just pop over into Photoshop and paint the rest of this, which is nice.
Oh, you started finishing stuff in Photoshop?
Uh, yeah, but not like I'll do both. I'll finish in Photoshop and Krita.
Hmm.
The only reason I do Photoshop is because they have some more like it's more for like blending. Honestly, it's not like I'm doing a ton of painting. I'm just trying to break up the look of the brush. It's the same sort of thing where I don't know if you use like any one thing a lot. I don't want to have like a repeat of that same kind of like pattern throughout the whole
Sure.
image. So like I'll just mix in some like oily looking paintbrush strokes and things in there. So it starts to look uh, a little more varied, but still like
Yeah.
traditional, because I don't want it to,
Yeah, feel too digital.
yeah. Most everything though is rendered up in Krita at this point. It just looks so good.
I
It
gotta try.
looks,
I still haven't tried Krita. I gotta try it.
yeah. This brush in particular just it just looks so good. Like I don't know, it feels so clean.
Man,
Squarespace seems like
so
the go-to. Yeah, I know. Squarespace, I
not feeling
guess.
Squarespace.
Huh?
Not feeling Squarespace.
I mean, it's probably changed a lot since the last time I used it.
Yeah.
Well, when I used it, it was less options. It's probably different now. But I couldn't have like at the time, it was like I couldn't have the full like gallery of my stuff. It was like a
I guess
weird
what you
layout.
could do, you look at some like artists we like sites and see what they're doing.
Well, that was when I asked like Marco. I was like, "Hey, how'd you do that?" And he's like, "I hired this guy. It costs a lot of money." And I
Oh,
was like, "Well, that's not what I want.
yeah, that's not the
I'm
answer I
not
needed.
trying to win a design award. I'm trying to just put my
Yeah,
stuff up.
right.
I don't care. I'm trying to put it up in a place that isn't ArtStation. Can you help me with that?"
Yeah. Did ArtStation survive the all the backlash?
I mean, they still do like AI shit and whatever. They
Jeez.
still have that as like a tag.
Well,
They just, I mean, all everything ended up doing was just get splintered. That's all it ended up doing. Was like nobody's
yeah,
in any one place. It's like everybody's everywhere.
kind of how it's been since concept art fell apart. ArtStation was like the spot for a little while, but
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna learn code. I don't
empires
care.
empires rise and fall, and DeviantArt is there through all of it.
Yeah, I know. DeviantArt,
Uh,
the sole survivor.
I know. They're waiting for you to come home.
I like the people there.
Yeah,
They're good people.
got nothing against DeviantArt except for the AI stuff.
Mm.
Assuming they're still doing it. I haven't checked to see if they reversed course. I know they were,
I have no idea.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all very tricky. It's like all these places are like using it, and if they say they're not using it, then like chances are they're using like this weird like proprietary version of it that's like only within their company, trained off of what they own. Like
Mm.
there's so many things like that now. It's like, all right. I mean, I honestly think that that's like legally the way that a lot of these places are going to go. Is it's just going to be
Probably.
like, here's all the stuff we own. It'll be like a mixture of like that and then everything that's public domain.
Hmm.
So like, you know, Activision, all like these huge conglomerate companies, like they're going to use that stuff because they have
Yeah,
such a crazy amassed amount of artwork that they can train their models off of
especially if you're like
legally.
World of Warcraft. Like, even
Mm-hmm.
if you hire people to make new WoW characters, they're gonna look like AI generated WoW characters because the style is so repetitive.
Yeah, it's like you have a locked in style guide.
Yeah, I get that. The closed network AI stuff, it makes, I don't love it, but it makes sense.
Yeah, I think like that's going to be the legal version.
Yeah.
But then the problem with that is you can't really say that the version of the AI that stuff's even trained off of to begin with
Hmm.
to like start that process doesn't already have stuff baked into it.
True.
So that's kind of it's all too muddy for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a way to get around it being morally gross.
Yeah, I think morally gross is kind of baked into it at this point forever. I'm interested to see where the big lawsuit goes with the movie studios.
Hmm. That whole thing with like, uh, um, what was I going to say? I just got mixed up. I was in the middle
That
of
whole thing
spinning
with
my thing.
about the movie studios maybe.
No, forget it. I'll remember again. You can keep talking.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where the movie studio thing goes when they actually have to like put money up to defend this in court against like some of the biggest companies in the world.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. That
There you
whole
go.
thing with like being able to basically pay for like shitty AI assets and like the
Mm,
Adobe store. Like that's the stuff to me that's so gross. Where you're like,
yeah.
what?
Adobe's having a bad time.
Yeah.
They're not doing very good lately.
Mm-mm. I mean, it's mostly like editing. That's really like all I use Adobe for. I do like
Yeah.
painting and things and like texturing and stuff, but it's not, you know, it's not like you couldn't do that elsewhere.
I mean, if you're this is where I'm not quite sure if what I've heard is the truth, but like if you take an image that you did in Krita and you
Mm-hmm.
upload it into Photoshop to finish it or edit it, you did all the painting in Krita, and you're paying for Photoshop, you're using CC, does that mean that they can then take that image and scrape the data?
I mean, I don't know exactly what it is now. I know that they like reworked their whole contract after the backlash
Yeah.
in like the rights thing. Because like a lot of like big companies were like, okay, I guess we can't use Adobe.
Yeah, because that was wild. That was so stupid.
Yeah. So they definitely redid all the language on the user agreement.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are just kind of like, yeah, that's too little, too late.
Yeah.
Like you kind of showed your hand with what you'd like to do. So,
Yeah, really, yeah. It's one of those things where you tear down the house and then you start putting bricks back in place slowly. It's like, okay, now we know. That's so weird. Is there really that much money to be made off it for Adobe?
yeah, I'm sure it's the same thing as like, I mean, the thing that's so, I don't know, abhorrent. There's a lot of words you could use, but
Yeah.
it's that thing of like everybody knows that all these companies are full of shit. Like
Yes.
that's the obvious, but
Yeah.
it's so funny when they're like, rules for thee, not for me.
Mm.
When they're just running up the electric bill with all this
Yeah.
AI stuff and being like, we're going to be a carbon neutral company by 2025. That's our commitment to making the
Yeah.
environment better. Then they're like, oh, but wait a second. AI.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we need to
You gotta keep the
run
lights
these
on.
machines.
24/7.
The brain.
Get him out.
The brain needs to live.
Gotta create the mother brain.
Yes, it needs it. Feed it.
I actually don't know this. Is Adobe a publicly traded company or are they a private company?
I think they're publicly traded.
Like is one person calling the shots there or is it a board of directors that are like, let's do this to make the most money?
I
I
actually
do
don't
not
know,
know.
but I thought I heard somebody say it was publicly traded. I'd imagine it's public, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I don't even know if someone like maybe Adobe is part of a bigger company, like maybe like Apple owns them or something. Actually, don't know.
Yeah. What do I think of uh, Kara or Kara? Yeah. Um, it's cool. I don't know how they're gonna. I mean, it's the same thing as Twitter. Like, I don't know how they're gonna make money off of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, Adobe's public.
public. Okay. So yeah, it's shareholder decisions.
Yeah, I mean, but like, it's so crazy. It's all
Yeah.
very stupid and like of the moment. I
Yeah.
mean, it's literally. I mean, obviously this has more of an impact because it's so broad, but it's the same sort
Mm.
of thing as like everybody getting on board with NFTs and every
Yeah.
company wanting to do it immediately.
Well, it's like, how are people still getting cryptocurrency rug pulled? Like to this
Yeah,
day. Like,
like the boogie
how is
stuff and
that?
all that.
Oh, the boogie shit is so fucking insane, dude.
I know.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, that lying about cancer was
Lying about cancer, saying that you
some
have to rug,
delicious drama.
dude, it's like I don't even it's like bullshit origami. He like takes a piece of paper that's bullshit and then he folds it and he's like, "Okay, I got to do a cryptocurrency as a joke because I need money." And then he folds it again and he goes, "I can't give the money back to the people that bought into it because I have medical bills because I have cancer. So I need to rug pull my fans to make money for this cancer I have because the bills are so high." Then he folds it again and he's like, "Oh, actually, I don't have cancer. So why do you need to keep the money from the rug pull?" And then he folds it again and it's, "I'm gonna leave the internet because you guys are bullies." Like, oh my God, dude. What a ugh,
Yeah, it's very.
ugh. Just fucking inhuman.
It's like if somebody who lived in Pine Tree Village became
Mm,
famous.
true.
Like
Very true.
people we knew who were just like white trash. Like if they just became like so famous and like
It's just
somehow
the it's
people listen to
the
the grifter.
no, it's just the thing that makes me furious is the I'm a victim every step of the way. It's I have to do this rug pull and I have to be a piece of shit and steal money from people with this crypto scam because I'm a cancer victim. Oh, I'm not a cancer victim. Oh, well, you guys are bullying me about it. So like you guys are mean. It's just like just no responsibility. Just every single step of the way, I have to be a victim, 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 victim.
Yeah.
I can do anything I want because I'm a victim. Just like, ugh. And none of it's real and it's all bullshit. But I'm not going to admit that because victim.
Yeah, it's super embarrassing.
Very little sympathy. Sorry for that tangent. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's the worst.
The
It's
cancer shit, just lying about that, just really fucking, I don't know. It was already shitty, but just like, I don't know.
yeah.
I also
Those
don't know
aren't
how
my
people
those are
go,
my beers.
yeah, those are my beers. I
It's
also
just
don't know
my
how people
beers on a big
get,
scale.
also just don't know how people get to that point. Like, I guess it's one of those things where like if you understand how people do it, it's too late and you're one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I would just die like before, like I don't know. I could never. I could never. I would cringe and shrivel until I was dead.
I feel like you need to like disassociate yourself with like your relation to just being a person. Like you have to be like, I'm not
Yeah.
real. This is a game. Like I'm just nothing I do is of consequence. Like
Yeah.
that's what it feels like to me
Yeah.
anyway. It's like you'd have to be a kind of like just complete narcissist, where like you're just thinking that you don't have a real, like nothing you do is really like gonna add to anything. Just like yeah, who cares? At the end of the day, what does it matter? It's that same
Nemanja.
logic of like, oh yeah, like Walmart, they actually put aside money for people who steal. It's like, so I should be the one stealing.
Yeah.
It's the same kind
I
of
mean,
logic.
hey, worked for us for a long time.
That's what I mean. It's like when you're a kid and whatever, it's like you
Yeah.
can, it's like that thing of like, I would like to do this bad thing. How can I manipulate myself into thinking it's okay?
It's okay to do it. Yeah.
It's like, how can I trick myself into being okay with the decisions I'm making? That was
Yeah.
like a thing that they talked about on that like Channel 5 thing with like the dudes dealing like trank.
Yeah.
And I like completely related to that because I was like, oh, like I did that when I was a kid to like just say like, oh yeah, who cares? Like I'm doing this thing and it's a
Yeah.
bad decision, but what does it matter? Like that, this is just me doing this. Like all those places will be fine.
When it's inevitable, when you convince yourself that the outcome is inevitable, it doesn't matter that you're doing it anymore. Like someone's going to do this bad thing, and they've already factored it in, so
Yeah, it's
it
like
really doesn't
my
matter
my
who does it.
impact is negligent. Like it doesn't actually do anything. It would be somebody else if it wasn't me.
Yeah,
Yeah, sad.
yeah, that's wild. Nemanja in my chat. I don't really want to talk about that, but the only thing I'll say is I feel bad for everybody who worked on The Boys because they're gonna get some insane backlash this week.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might be wrong, but I think the next episode of The Boys is the season finale, and it's about a conservative political candidate getting an assassination attempt at a rally. It's I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if they've announced anything about it. I don't know, but yeah, that's a fucking insane coincidence.
Yeah, it's a wild tightrope.
Uh, I'm glad they're ending it after the next season. I'm glad they're just gonna like not drag it out and let it
Mm.
be a good show. What I'm really excited for is Rings of Power season 2, featuring Tom Bombadil. Did you see those photos of Tom Bombadil?
I didn't. Did they release new stuff?
Oh, buddy,
Well,
buddy,
I
if you're a
don't.
Tolkien if you're a Tolkien fan who didn't like the first season because you felt like it didn't represent Tolkien, let me tell you, it's all better now because they put in Tom Bombadil, your favorite deep cut character. You know that one who wasn't in the Lord of the Rings movies that only true fans know about? Well, he's in our show, so come watch it.
Does he do the songs?
I mean, here's the thing. Here's why it's so funny. If he doesn't do the songs, he's not Tom Bombadil, and it's not lore accurate, and everyone hates them again. And if he does do the songs, it's gonna fucking suck and be tonally dissonant and ruin the show, and everyone's gonna hate it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
He can't do the songs, can he?
you can't be talking about the ethics of orc genocide, and then he's like Tom Bombadillo. Oh, yeah, no. And they cast that fucking is what's his name? Is it Greg Kinnear? Like
I
he's a
don't know.
fine actor, but he's not who you cast as Tom Bombadil. What are you doing?
Who would you cast as Tom Bombadil?
Probably. Let's think. Maybe like the butler from Downton Abbey. You need like a portly older guy who can sing and have it not be cringe.
Right.
You need like someone who can actually sing, and they need to be older and they need to be kind of plump. Um, the guy who played Gimli would have been good. He's probably too old now, but yeah, I don't know, but not this guy. You should look it up right now, dude. It's just a regular guy with like a beard and like a fucking yellow hat, and he's looking very serious.
I'm good.
I couldn't believe it. Like the desperation.
I can believe the
It's weird.
desperation.
It's weird when you can smell the panic on something, where it's like, actually, Sauron is a elf with long blonde hair now, and he was here the whole time. And in the trailer, we're gonna say he was here the whole time. Don't season one was a misdirect, and also Tom Bombadil's here. We're Lord of the Rings, guys. Look, guys, we're Lord of the Rings. Look at us. We are. I know you didn't think we were, but we are. Please come back. Very good. Can't
Yeah.
wait.
I don't envy their position.
I just want to be in the rooms where these decisions are happening, where they're like, break glass for Tom Bombadil in case of emergency. uh, how bad do things have to get before someone's like, all right, get Tom out. Dust him
Tom?
off, guys.
Bring in
He's
the
their
big
winter
guns.
soldier. They activate him with his codes and put him back to sleep. Because I think they'd have to buy the rights to use that character too, because they only had the rights to the appendix. So like someone had to go out of their way to be like, all right, listen, Charlie Tolkien, whatever the fuck your kid's name is, listen to me.
Charlie
Listen,
Tolkien.
listen to me, Chuck. Listen, we're
Chuck
gonna need
Tolk.
Tom. We're gonna need Tom, okay? We're gonna need him. What's it gonna cost, Chuck? We gotta get Tom in this show. Yeah, he's gonna sing. Yeah, he's gonna fight Barrow Whites. Yes, yes, yes. Just how much? Give us a number. Come on, Chuck. I'm just saying that if in the audiobook version of Lord of the Rings read by Andy Serkis, if even he can't do Tom Bombadil without it being cringe, you're kind of screwed.
What does he do in the audiobook? I haven't listened to it.
He goes way over the whole audiobook, the whole thing, except for Tom Bombadil, amazing. All the character voice is amazing. His descriptions, the way he reads it, fantastic. One of the best audiobooks I've ever heard. Then for the Tom Bombadil parts, listen, I love Andy Serkis. He's great. He's not like a guy who can like sing. And he goes like full like he's like Tom Bombadil, Tom Bombadil. Like he like he can't yell because it's an audiobook. So
Right.
he has to do that like back of your throat like cartoon yell.
Yeah.
Where like it's not actually loud, you just sound kind of like a Muppet, and it's oh man. Oh boy. It's not good. Let me tell you.
I believe it.
Luckily, they cast famous singer Greg Kinnear, the guy who played Frankenstein in Penny Dreadful, to be Tom Bombadil. I think he's in those Daniel Craig 007 movies. When Daniel Craig's like, "What if I want to kill people?" And then it cuts over to like the guy in a suit in the office, and he's like, "You can't kill people, 007." He's like, "But what if I want to?" He's like that guy who's like, "We can't possibly let you be that cool." Remember that horror movie Men, where all the men had that one face?
Yeah.
It's that guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Gonna be very good. Can't wait. It's gonna be excellent. Here's what's gonna happen this season on Rings of Power, guys. Ready? Sauron's gonna go, you know what? Those rings were a good idea. It just didn't work out the first time. I'm gonna make some more rings. Give them to the dwarves. Ah, shit. That didn't work out either. I'm gonna make some more rings. Give them to some guys. Oh, they're not happy about it. Big war. The end. What am I thinking of? Where he's like, that rings idea though. If I could just get it to work.
There's something there.
These rings.
Sorry, chat. I'm not looking at it right now. I'm just working on my little moon back there. Let me look back at chat. Are you still drawing? Yes. I've been drawing. Probably doesn't seem like it because I'm doing like in between values. So it just looks like barely anything's happening. I promise you there's an effect happening.
Luis Prado, if by the leaks for Rings of Power you mean the first episode leaking, where it starts with all of them as naked people in outer space, yes, I have seen that. I have read all of it. I can't wait. I really, really, really hope that's real. We'll see.
Hello, do you think that Krita has the same capability as Clip Studio? I'm thinking about whether to buy Clip Studio or stay with Krita. Well, I mean, Clip Studio has more stuff that's akin to Photoshop, so it's probably a little nicer in some respects in terms of like user friendliness that you're used to. Uh, Krita for me is more like just the actual nuts and bolts like art part where I'm just drawing and painting. Like I don't do like a ton of like adjustment stuff in here. Editing and things like that, you'd get probably more out of using Clip. But yeah, I would just do both. I flip between every program I use. I use Photoshop, I use Clip, I use Krita, and I just bounce between all of them. Yeah, and Krita's free.
How did I rate Rings of Power Season 1? I mean, it's the worst kind of score for me. It's not so awful it's funny, and it's not so good that it's watchable. So it's like a 4 or something. Like, it's just not even worth your time, really. There's like a couple episodes where it's so bad you laugh, like the famous horse scene and stuff, but like most of it's just like, okay, it's just there's not really much going on. And the stuff that is going on isn't super interesting. So, aside from some cool art direction, like if you're watching it to look at some cool stuff, there's really not much going on. But yeah, unless you want to see some good looking orcs and a couple of cool cities, that's about it.
Yeah. Dan, how come you don't just turn your brain off?
Oh man, wish I could.
Just become
That's
stupid.
also it's also a plot point in the new season of The Boys, turning your brain off.
How is it?
Yeah, one of the characters is the world's smartest person, and she's so smart she can't enjoy anything because she always finds the flaws in everything, which
Hmm.
I thought was a clever way to do it. So the only way for her to have fun, because her brain is constantly regenerating, that's why she's so smart, is to lobotomize herself and eat junk food and have sex before her brain grows back. I was like, that's great. It's a very, very funny way to do that. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Rings of Power was so forgettable. $1 billion. My God.
Yeah. It's better to kind of
Imagine
just be
being.
like unexpected than to be like, here's the shoes you're filling.
I'm just imagining, like, imagine the screening room, and like after the end of the watch party, like Jeff Bezos stands up and claps, and like looks around the room, and everyone has to stand up and be like, "Woo! Ah, we did it!"
Yay. Yeah. That would be sad.
Not good.
Nobody in the chat asked, do you like doing spooky Halloween ish imagery? Yeah.
They don't need to ask.
Yeah. Yes.
Look at what you're doing. The
That's
question,
that's what I
the
do.
answer's in the result. The
Did you
proof is in the
need
pudding.
did you need to add spooky wispy clouds to the sky? No. I
Yeah.
didn't need to. It's just
If
stupid.
you don't
It's very
if you don't
dumb.
look at Dave's painting and hear a wolf howling in the distance and a door creaking and a witch laughing, then it's not done yet.
I haven't done my job. Do I do art with a message? No.
I did see. I took a photo. I didn't send it to you yet. I did see something very funny driving around yesterday, where Oh my God, I forget what closed, but it was just like it was so poetic. It's like there's two kinds of people. There was like a brand new grand opening Panera Bread, and right next to it was an out of business, I think Circuit City that got turned into a Spirit of Halloween. And it was like there it is. There's Panera people and Spirit of Halloween people.
Spirit Halloween.
So funny.
Don't add in the extra stuff. Muddies up the brevity.
Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure a lot of people have said this, and I said it on, I think, like Twitter before or whatever, but like, I really like that Spirit Halloween is actually the ghost that consumes those businesses that died.
No, it's great.
Like, it's so
It's
cool
awesome.
that it's actually haunted. And it's very funny.
Someone's dreams died here.
Like, I'm sure that's not lost on Spirit Halloween.
No, it's the Reaper that comes and harvests you.
Yeah.
Well, well, well.
Like, once
A
I like
'99 restaurant.
I'm fairly convinced that if the country falls, where the where Congress is now will be a Spirit Halloween after.
Absolutely. 100%.
It'll just be filled with
You
props.
should take the Fallout 3 artwork that ISIS used or Al Qaeda used of the and put a Spirit of Halloween banner on the building. Fucking nuclear
After
waste,
the
Washington
fall.
D.C. Yeah, Halloween never changes.
It's just the White House with a Spirit Halloween banner on front of
Literally
it.
that. Literally that.
Like, I'm fairly certain that's what's coming next.
Yeah, probably.
Guys, not
And
all
the
is
end,
lost. We got a
the
Spirit
end of the
Halloween
world,
out of this.
the end of democracy is pretty spooky. So,
The end of democracy will come with a witch laugh.
yeah,
That'll be
as the
the end.
guillotine falls.
Yeah.
And it's very good. I do want to do that now. I want to take that artwork and put a Spirit Halloween thing on the fucking Capitol.
Yeah.
That's perfect. With the coming soon.
Just,
Coming
but
soon.
not all's lost.
Yeah. With every ending, a new beginning.
Spirit Halloween.
I forgot that I forgot that the end of Princess Mononoke. I saw it last night. I forgot that the ending isn't like a resolution to anything. It's very funny to me when she's like, Ashitaka, I can't forgive the humans for what they've done to me, so I'm gonna go back to the woods. And he's like, that's okay. We can't forgive the forest either, so I'm gonna help them rebuild and I'll come visit you. It's like, it's this is very good. This is very, very funny because that feels very real to me.
Yeah.
None of us can forgive each other. Let's just start over.
Just balance.
Great.
Just try our best.
Hmm.
All right.
How's it coming?
It's fine. Nothing special.
Are you picturing this as like a book cover for like a Dungeon Master's Guide or like
I am just picturing it right now. Just
yeah,
that's what I call it when I paint. Just
picturing it?
yeah. Just
I hate that so much.
I'm
Sounds
just
like sounds like some entrepreneur wisdom.
now.
Picture it. Now, what does that mean? Picturing it. Well, as a visual artist myself,
I'm not
picturing it is kind of my job.
I'm not an illustrator, I'm a picturer.
I'm a picturer. Yeah, I'm a picturist.
I
Me?
make pictures of stuff. Get it?
I'm a
comes from the
stuffer,
root
and
word picturism.
I'm a picture. Yeah, it's picturism. You got to
Ooh,
do the
spooky.
you got to do the when you've statements and lean back. When you've done as many pictures of I as I have, they all start to blend together.
Yeah, yeah. They all
When
start
you've made
to
as much money as
coagulate.
me, when you've made as much money as me, money starts to become kind of meaningless. So let me tell you how to make more money.
Money becomes stupid. Watch this though. Okay, I'm gonna turn my screen black. Don't be alarmed. I'm just reopening this in Photoshop. This is my way of having you not see stuff that I cannot share. Don't be alarmed. It's coming back. It is coming back. And it is back. Okay.
Are you gonna get that new James Jane?
The bear one?
Yeah,
Maybe. It's pretty cool.
it's a cool print. It doesn't match any of my colors, but I'm assuming it's gonna go up in value. It's one of my favorite stamps he's done. The stamp on the bottom of it is really cool.
Yeah.
He did that for some guy's restaurant like a couple years ago. I like how he's slowly raising his prices again.
And inflation, man, you gotta.
He's like 500 to 525, 550. Yeah, full disclosure for anyone listening, for the next Steve Kickstarter, if you're gonna backer, the books are gonna have to be more expensive because the inflation's ridiculous and the shipping's ridiculous.
Yeah, when it comes to shipping, freight, and all that stuff, all those, I mean, well, of course it has
Yeah,
to go up. The last time we did a book was like,
10 years ago.
yeah, it's crazy. So
Yeah.
obviously things have
So
changed.
unfortunately, it's not gonna be a $50 pack anymore. We're not quite sure where it's gonna be, but
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We don't know yet, but
yeah.
we know it's going to be more. Just I don't know what.
Yeah.
We're basically just going to look for whatever ends up being the same profit margin that we had before, whatever that irons out to.
Mm,
I should probably put this on a new layer so you can see what I'm doing. I always forget. Doing these for Patreon too. Gotta layerize it all. Okay. Where's my thing? There it is. Yeah, I'm an Adobe Picturer.
sounds like a new app. With Adobe Picturer, you use keywords and it creates a picture. Then you lean back and you look at it and you feel good. Yeah, huh.
There was
Guess
that
that's all it
artist
took.
that we used to know forever ago
Mhm.
who was always very funny. I mean, he wasn't trying to be funny. It was just funny. But he was calling himself what did he call himself? It
A
was
shape
something
shifter.
shapeshifter. It was something like
Shape.
that.
It was shape sifter, like sifting sand to find gold.
Yeah, it's basically
Mm-hmm.
like essentially calling himself a dream weaver.
Mm-hmm.
It was very funny. I like when
Mm-hmm.
artists get lost in their egos.
Oh,
It's,
that's great.
it's one of my favorite things ever.
It sucks when people do that and you want to laugh, but they're like the nicest people you've ever met, so you don't want to be mean. But also, it's hilarious.
Well, yeah, I mean, they can be nice and still be silly.
Yeah,
It's still silly.
very, very silly. Especially like I don't know. It's also just how me and Dave were raised and where we were from. But like saying I'm not a, even saying you're a painter is risky. Saying you're an illustrator is riskier. Saying I'm not even those. I'm a shapeshifter is like, all right, man, curl up in a ball. It's gonna hurt less. Like
Yeah,
I don't
putting
know.
putting yourself
It's
in a on a pedestal is a not a good
yeah,
look.
yeah. I do envy that though. It'd be nice to be free enough to have that kind of just say things and not even be afraid.
I I have like inner monologue now where I can like kind of like how a con man works. I'm just conning myself to be more confident. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of
Sure.
like tricking myself into thinking like I believe this thing, you know? Like this is me.
Yeah.
But like I have to trick myself into believing like yes, I am capable of doing these things. It is not stupid. It is cool. It'll work. It'll be cool. What's Wiko
It's
doing?
weird when you look at your notes and you're like, I could write a book in under a year because I have enough material here to do it, but I'm embarrassed about calling myself a guy who writes a book, so I'm just never gonna do it.
Right. I think like I have certain
Definitely.
things where like I did that comic recently. I
Yeah.
just wrapped up that Veil comic. And I was just like, well, whatever. Like I'm it's one of those things where I am way more comfortable ever since we wrote our books and stuff and did everything else.
Hmm.
It's like so I don't really care that much. It's like I'm also not married to this thing being like like I'm not going out of my way to create like, ooh, this is gonna be a worldwide phenomenon. Like I don't care if it works.
Right.
I don't care if it succeeds in a major way. It doesn't matter. I'm just making it, and I want to make it, and it's going to be this
Yeah.
thing, good, bad, indifferent, whatever. So
That's a
like
big step.
that helps a lot. Just being like, I don't have expectations for this thing. I just am trying my best, and I'm trying to be honest when I make the thing. But anyway, point being is it is nice to put that out there and be like, here's something that's slightly personal, but like, you
Mhm.
know, like I am saying something that like I think about things or like my family or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Not
then
hiding behind humor.
right. And then like putting it out like I sent it to a few people that, you know, just aren't like close to me like we're close and just being like, what did you think this was about? You know, just like, I just want to know what you took away from it.
Hmm.
And having them be like, oh, it's this. And then be like, yes, that's exactly what I was trying to say. Like, okay, that's all I
Hmm.
needed. All I needed was you to just get what I was saying. All right, cool. And then that
Yeah.
feels good. Just being like, okay, I can be a little less guarded. And it's the same, like, it's a, you know, like, we're making fun of that idea that like, you know, this you're worried that everybody's thinking about you, that they're going to judge you, and then you find out that nobody's thinking about you.
Right.
It's like that same type of thing where it's like, right, you can do this, nobody cares, like nobody cares at
Yeah.
all, and if you just do something that you're honest about, that's all you can do. It's like if you're not, you know, making or like putting on a ego thing or like putting on a mask and hiding behind it. You're just being like, no, this is actually what I want to make. Who cares? It's like that's
Hmm.
enough. Like it doesn't need to be anything more than that. So that feels good. It feels like a little emboldening to be like,
Yeah.
all
It's a
right,
big
yeah,
step.
just keep making stuff. Right.
hopefully it works out because that is definitely something I still struggle with. I'm sure a lot of people listening do too.
Yeah. Yeah, all that stuff is intimidating. It's just being vulnerable with something that's like
Yeah,
not embarrassing, but just so like you just being like,
sincere.
I'm trying to be sincere.
Yeah, sincerity is a very, very scary form of vulnerability because it shows people what you care about.
hmm But then
And then, go
the
ahead.
thing that I've kind of had with kids is that I don't care
Right.
anymore about what anybody thinks of me because I don't matter.
There you go.
It's about the kids. It's like the ego death thing, you know. You
Yeah.
get pieces of that with having kids and any number of other experiences. Is it ever frustrating being as guarded with expressing yourself emotionally in that way through art? Uh,
Yeah.
yes, mostly in terms of like at least I think I can speak for Dan and me. It's like mostly in terms of like what we would want to say in like a story type of setting where it's like there's a lot
Hmm.
of things we'd like to do. It's like, but having the courage to just, it's not about like saying something super deep even. It's not like you're trying to be like, oh, here's this thing I hope everybody understands and thinks I'm smart. Like, it's not that. It's just being like, this is a shirt that I like
Yeah.
and I'm going to wear it to my, to my friend's
Yeah.
house. Please don't make fun of me.
Hmm.
Like, it doesn't even have to do with it being like emotionally vulnerable necessarily. It's just vulnerability, like in general, because you're so used to being like punched by something, like not literally, but like figurative punch.
It's tangentially related to that. Like, I don't know if this happens to you. Do you ever have people come over and they're like, where's your work? And you're like, what do you mean? And you're like, why aren't you hanging up your artwork? Do people ever ask you that?
No.
Okay, because that happens to me all the time. And I'm like, I look at them and I'm like, what are you fucking crazy? Huh? I'm gonna hang up my own work in my hat. Like, what? I don't want to look at it. What do you mean? Like, I don't know what that is, but it's that same feeling to me of like, no, I don't want to show you that.
Right. Did I try online dating before I met Kim? When I like tried it, like dipped my toe in it, it wasn't cool. Like it wasn't something that you could just do. Like it was still very taboo. Like people weren't doing it. If you were doing it, you were like a desperate loser. So I was like, maybe I'll try it. I was like, I don't know. Like I feel so isolated living where I'm living in the city. Like I just was like working all the time. So I tried it and I only met crazy people. So I was like, okay. I mean, I'm now it's different because there's everybody's on them, but back then nobody was on them. Only like outliers.
True. The addiction I finally broke.
What, dating apps?
Online dating. Yes. It's wild how much time and energy that shit takes up that you don't realize it's taking up. Just the mental like steam that you lose.
Yeah, I
It's
imagine it's like a
nuts.
version of like gambling.
I mean, yeah, it's the same kind of thing. And it just like, man, it was like ruining my life, dude. Like now that it's gone, it's like, holy shit. I was spending how many hours a day swiping and messaging and talking and going out and like just like it literally was it's just like a slot machine and like yeah you'd hit sometimes but like it's just what are you're just wasting so much of your life
Mm.
and it's super gamified now too on the apps it's just like man I don't know mega bad thing if you have any kind of like addictive personality. Just stay away from it.
Yeah, I can see that.
If you're like a healthy, well balanced individual and you just want to like hook up with people, it's probably great. So this advice isn't for everybody, but like, yeah, I don't know. It was just it was like a full time job. It was terrifying how much time you spend on those things.
Yeah, and then you end up just having a bunch of people in your life.
Yeah, you just end up with just this weird collection of like friends you sometimes hook up with, or like exes you don't want to stop talking to because you like feel bad, or like it just I don't know. It's just very very weird. But again, if you're like a normal healthy person, probably great.
I mean, I don't think
I've heard.
any of that stuff is good. Like any social media, nothing. Like I don't know.
Oh, social media is awful in general. That's yeah.
Like when you know that thing of everybody talking about like yeah, Zoomers or they always look older and tired. It's like yeah, I can imagine. You're
Yeah, of
just like
course. Because
consumed by this thing that's always
your
just
brain is never turning off. There's no rest anymore. You're constantly, constantly, constantly on all the time.
yeah. It's like look at it's like you think that you look old. It's like look at any addict of anything. It's
Hmm.
like they all look like that, older and fucked
Hmm.
up looking. Like it's like that stuff puts years on your life.
Yeah.
Addiction. I imagine it's that, right? Or at least that's a version. That's part of it.
I think the only part of that that I can speak to with firsthand knowledge is that conversations don't end anymore. They just pause and linger. So it
Mm.
feels like you're always actively talking to as many people as you're talking to. So it's like number one, everyone's messaging you on like four different apps at any given time. They're messaging you on the app you met them on, Snapchat, Instagram usually, and then Messenger or text. So like you'll have multiple threads going with an individual person and then times that by however many people you're talking to. And you have to keep up with all of them so they don't feel like they're being ignored. And you have to also it gets nuts. It just spirals into this like craziness of like the conversations are never over. It's never like, hey, it was nice talking. Can't wait to talk to you tomorrow. That never happens because it's not a phone call. It's just an eternal conversation, and you better respond to it quick, or it's gonna look weird. So it's just yeah, these unending conversations that just last, and that shit is really exhausting.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone way. Like I am pretty. I was like feeling just like even like not even being a part of that, just social media in general. I was like, I
Yeah,
can't. So I just kind of muted everything, and then like even when I post stuff, I usually mute. Like on Twitter, I just mute the thread.
yeah.
Don't look
There
at
isn't
it.
like a like no one uses like hello and goodbye anymore, so the conversation doesn't like formally begin or end really.
Mm.
It's just like I don't know. The only version of that that still exists is like good night or good morning, really. And other than that, it's expected that like you're just actively talking all the time. And it's I don't know. For me, I don't know. I have a little bit of weird like I don't know what the fuck if I have OCD or something. Kim thinks I does, but like
Kim thinks I does.
Kim thinks I does. Kim thinks I do, but I like if something has to be checked, I have to check it. I don't have that weird thing where I can go, I'll do it later. If there's something that needs to be looked at, I have to do it now.
Or you feel like somebody's waiting on you.
Yes. And if I know someone's messaging me, I have to check in real time constantly or I get like really stressed out, like blood
Right.
pressure goes up. So like the only way to fix that is to not be talking to people
I also
because
just
otherwise,
muted on my phone. I was like, all adult content, mute, please.
oh man,
I was like, I just
you
don't
can
want to be like lured in.
can you do that?
Yeah, you can do that on the iPhone.
How? I'm gonna do it
I
right
mean,
now.
I
Tell
don't
me.
know how to tell you over the, like just in this call. I could show
Oh,
you.
sure, sure,
I'd have
sure,
to look it up
sure,
again.
sure.
I only did it, I did it once and I just never undid it. So I
Because
can't
every time I
remember.
go on Instagram, I'm like, can I get a filter for no girls promoting an OnlyFans and no politics? Can I get that out of my feed completely,
I don't know if you
please?
can do that there. I'm talking about like any and all like adult website, any of that content. Like you can just have that be filtered out. So like if
Sure.
something connects to something else, it's like, or it's even like if you feel yourself like you forget you did that and you're like, oh, I'm gonna watch this thing, and then it's blocked, and you're like, all right, right, I shouldn't do this.
Sure.
I shouldn't do
Well, that's
this.
good. That sounds really good, actually. I would love to do that.
Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, I don't like the feeling that like I'm out of control.
Yeah, it's
And
terrible.
that's kind of all of that.
Well, it's like I didn't go on Instagram to see something that's going to
Of
distract me and
course.
lead me down a crazy rabbit. I didn't opt into that. That's not what I came here for, and you're throwing it in my face knowing that it's going to trick my brain into chasing it. And like, yeah, it'd be nice to have a way to opt out of that.
Yeah, a lot of people in the chat talking about it. The never
It'd be like
ending
if I went
conversations.
over. Oh, really? What are they saying?
There's nothing to end, just more, just make a date and plan it and whatever. And like I talk to people, but I
Yeah.
just turn off all notifications. Yeah.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
listen, listen, chat. Sometimes, speaking from true story, sometimes when you turn off notifications on your phone because you need sleep, a person shows up at your house and breaks in because they want to know who you're cheating on them with. Okay? So I'm glad it worked out for you, but not all of us have that option all the time.
Oh, is that for me? Oh, thank you. Love you. My wife brought me lunch.
What'd she bring you?
Chicken katsu.
Ooh. Sandwich or over rice?
Uh, just the chicken.
Nice.
She knows I'm trying not to give in.
Hell yeah.
We've both been really good about like working out and stuff, so we're being consistent.
I feel good. I definitely blew all my muscles out last week, but I'm not going to make that mistake again.
How much are you
That
down
hurt.
now?
80.
80 pounds. That's a lot.
80 pounds, yeah, since November. So it's like 80 pounds in 8 months, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm getting into like more intense weight stuff, and I wasn't used to it, so I went a little too hard and fucked up my back.
Yeah,
But I'm
carbs
good
aren't
now.
evil. I'm not treating food as like a red light, green light situation. It's more or
Mm.
less just monitoring it and making sure I'm not overdoing it. Cuz it's
Yeah,
like carbs aren't evil unless you're the kind of person that gets addicted to stuff really easy.
yeah,
It's like if you're that, then you have to, if you know yourself, then you can do that. But if you're good with like everything in moderation and you have like a healthy relationship with food, that's a different story.
yeah,
But for me, I do not. Like I
yeah.
have such a hard time with that. It's like if you give me a little bit of that, then I blow up. So it's like I can't really do it. It doesn't mean carbs are evil. It means that there's something wrong with my brain.
I mean, I've learned that the thing I'm really, really bad at, the thing I'm super bad at, is managing multiple things at once. Like, if you told me no carbs ever, I've done that diet before and it was fine. Did it for 2 years. It was great. If you told me no more meat, I could do that. If you told me swim for 2 hours every day, do it easy. But when you're like, you have to eat this much protein, this much carbs, this much fat, you have to do these exercises, but not back to back. You get it like when it starts getting into like percentages and balancing multiple things, my brain is like, I'm so bad at it. I'm so
Mm-hmm.
bad at it. Like hitting my macros is harder than doing any crash diet. Getting the right percentages in is just like so brutal. I mean, I'm doing it. I'm getting it. I'm getting results, but like that is so much harder to me than just like here's a simple thing, muscle your way through it.
Right.
Now I'm swimming with a bucket for more resistance,
Oh yeah.
which is insane workout. Feels incredible after, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's like my favorite aspect of working out, and it's just that after feeling, being like, oh,
Hmm.
nice. I just feel completely dead.
Everybody at the pool thinks I'm weird because I bring my phone with like a water protector because after like the first hour of cardio, I start to like get more ideas
Mm-hmm.
and I want to write everything down before the fog comes back and takes them away because it
Yes.
always does. So I have my phone at the end of the lap swim, and every time I think of something, I stop and I type it out, and then I go back to swimming laps, and I'm in there for like 2 hours at a time. So it's just very funny. I always see people staring at me, wondering what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, I do that with my like walks. I stop all the time and I just pull out my phone and I start writing.
Yeah. I had one guy just assume I was talking to some like really needy girl or something. I don't know. He walked by and he went, "Hey man, tip." And I was like, "What?" I was like in the pool typing on my phone. And I was like, "What?" And he said, "Tell her that gym time is you time." And I was like, "What?" That was very good.
You should have
Hey,
said something
buddy.
really
Yep,
pretentious.
I should have.
You should have said, "Can't ignore the muse," and then smile at him, and then
Oh,
slowly get sucked down into the water and
oh.
drown.
Can't ignore the muse. And then stub my toe and start choking on water.
Yeah.
Can't ignore the muse. And then grab his leg and drag him into the pool.
Come here. Come here.
I just love all the. There's like 20 assumptions baked into him saying that to me that are so funny that he just knew he just had to be right. Gym time is you time.
And it takes you like a second to figure out even what he's talking about because you're in the middle of something.
I was like, actually,
What?
I'm writing an outline for a little boy who gets lost in fairy world. But thank you.
And then he puts his foot on you and drowns you.
Yeah.
Gym time is you time. It's very cool.
I thought someone was making a joke the other day when I was swimming and they weren't making a joke, so I pretended to laugh and then they just stared at me. That was good too. There was like this lady who was learning how to swim. She was like our age. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, you learn how to swim?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "How's it going?" And she was like, "I haven't drowned yet." So I was like, "Haha." Like, just like a fake polite laugh because I assume that's a joke, like, "Haven't drowned yet."
Yeah.
And she just stared at me and she was like, "I really hope I don't drown." No, no, why? A
I like that.
lot of very literal people at the gym. I don't know why. We do have that one guy that has to let everybody know he's very strong by screaming when he lifts the weights.
I love that.
And it makes me laugh every time he does it. It makes it harder for me to do my sets because it's so cringe. I just like he's over there like like I'm like dying laughing. Like I can't listen to this and hold any kind of weight above my head or I'm gonna collapse and like break my foot. It's too funny. Like it should be against the rules. That type of cringe should be against the rules.
It should be. Somebody should be stepping in.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. It's too much. You're doing
There
too
should
much.
there should be a decibel meter in front of the benches, and if anyone goes above a certain volume, an alarm should go off.
Mhm.
You don't want to lift weights. You want people to see you lifting weights.
Yeah, I'm not interested in being in shape. I want to
You're
look
out
like
of
I'm getting in
here.
shape.
Yeah.
It's more important that I feel. I sound good. I look good.
When I'm here, I want people to know.
When I'm here, I'm family.
It's the same question you asked earlier, just different. If a guy lifts weights without screaming, is he really lifting at all?
Yeah, did he live it?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you scream.
If you bench 220 without screaming, did you really bench at all?
You should say that. Next time some guy's like, getting it in. I
I
didn't hear
didn't
you
hear you
screaming.
scream. Just a
What?
line from a samurai movie.
What?
I didn't hear you scream.
Didn't hear you scream.
Walk up to someone, good set today? Yeah, man, feeling the burn. I didn't hear you scream.
You're not putting in real work till you're screaming.
Then I jump in the pool and I do laughs going, ah!
In and out of the water, take it in gulps.
Every time I throw another arm forward. Be very funny to scream swim. The lifeguard come over, sir. What? I'm just getting it in. I'm just getting it in, you know? Back at the body shop. Huh? What? Stop.
I'm at the body shop. What do you want? A fight? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm just at the body shop. What are you doing?
Wait, is that real, Nick? In the chat? They said at Planet Fitness they have a thing called the lunk alarm. Is that real? Do they set off an alarm if someone like makes too much noise? Because that's amazing. I want that. I want that in
Yeah,
every gym.
I want that too. I want it bad. It's very exciting.
I want it in normal conversations. Someone's making too much noise, alarm just goes off. Oh, sorry. Looks like you gotta shut the fuck up. Oh, that's true. That is a Sabretooth thing from X-Men. You owe me some screams. Yeah, that's true. Should ask your trainer why he doesn't talk like that, Dave.
What, did I owe him some screams?
That Sabretooth line from X-Men. You should see if you can say to your trainer without breaking character, I think what I'm looking for in this relationship is a real Sabretooth Wolverine dynamic.
No, I've already. He knows me well enough.
He knows you're gonna be lying.
He knows that I just mess with him, and say stupid stuff, and do dumb things. So there's no like secret anymore about who I am in our relationship that's going on in this.
I would
workout
try it,
environment.
but I know for a fact I could not say that without breaking. I know I couldn't say it.
I wore a shirt that said "Top Cunt" on it today to work out.
So glad you bought that shirt.
Yeah. And I was wearing that, and I was like, "You didn't say anything about my shirt today." And he said, "I just think it's cool." And I went,
That's
"All right,
great.
all right, cool. I think it's a cool shirt." And I go, "Thanks, Toraya. I appreciate it."
So thank you for noticing the small things.
I'm not going to say the skits that I'm helping write with him for his promotional material,
Hmm.
but they're solid, and I can't wait to make them.
Excellent.
I've just been pitching him things. Go, listen, I know how to get your business blowing up.
I know. I wish more people like that would listen to humor stuff. That's the secret ingredient to make people feel comfortable and not intimidated.
Mm-hmm. He's down. So it's just a matter of time now. It's just a matter of time before we cross that bridge. Start making content.
Mm-hmm.
If we do it right, it'll blow up.
I can't wait to hear some of these off stream.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
I did make my trainer laugh the other day, which felt good. Where he was like, "Down 80 pounds, that must feel great." And I was like, "Not really." And he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "'Cause I'm still fucking fat." And then he just started laughing. Couldn't control it. And I was like, "You know how fat you gotta be to lose 80 pounds and still be fat?" And he was like, "You gotta stop. I'm not supposed to laugh at this stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, but where's the lie?"
Not supposed to laugh.
Yeah, he was like, "I'm not supposed to laugh at self-deprecating stuff." And I'm like, "Buddy, I'm not gonna report you." I said, "Buddy, you know those self-deprecating fat people out there you hear about on the news? I'm the worst one."
On the news.
The news. I think he says that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, yeah.
I just like the implied idea that it's scary.
Yeah, the news is talking about the epidemic of
Warning.
overweight people making fun of themselves. A shocking rise in the rates of obese people making fun of their own bodies.
In a shocking turn of events, obese people are making fun of their own bodies, allowing them to be okay with themselves for a little bit. Kind of.
Scientists at NASA call it a coping mechanism.
It's frustrating, said NASA scientists. It's frustrating because we want to make fun of them, and if they make fun of themselves, it robs us of the joy. So we're
Robs
trying
us
to
of the
stop them.
pleasure.
We are trying our best to cull this.
Did you watch the Ozempic South Park?
No.
Ah, the best joke in that is that Cartman's desperate to lose weight, but you find out at the end it wasn't to get healthy, it's so nobody had any easy ammunition to make fun of him. Because without him being fat, he can make fun of them and they have nothing to throw back at him. I was like, I love that. That's such a good angle. It's just no more cheap shots.
Hmm.
Now, only he can make fun of people. Hmm.
Just working out my stuff. That's all. I'm a little
Yeah.
quiet, but
Yeah.
I'm focused on these colors.
Yeah, I've only got a little more left in me. I gotta go to the gym.
Oh yeah, are you supposed to go now?
Um, the pool was emptiest like an hour ago, but we were having a good conversation, so I figured I'd push it. But I mean, they're gonna be open tonight. It's just the lanes are more full.
Hmm.
Mm, man, what do we got? Like 5 chapters left to look at?
For Steve?
Yeah,
Just about, yeah. They were just gonna
just about.
review.
And some of them aren't even full. They're like little ending things,
Yeah,
right?
pretty much all of them are. I mean, like the way that we usually do books is we just for everybody listening is we usually do like all the hard stuff first. That's the way you should kind of do anything. I feel like,
Yeah.
but yeah, we did all the difficult things first, and now it's just the fun stuff that's left to do. A little like icing.
Yep. Little vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Man. I think my brother's arcade's opening next month, which is gonna be cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
That's pretty cool.
Mm.
What's it called?
It's called Rewind. You got a trademark for RWND, which was surprising to me.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was the final name he landed on. I haven't been super like invested in family stuff in a while though.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go see what's going on down there. Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm just like
It's okay. Both of us are.
dating. Mm-hmm.
I'm just
Chad,
looking
if
at
you're
this image.
wondering, we used to do 7-hour Skype calls every day, and like 80% of it was what's happening right now.
Yes. We're just keeping each other company.
Mm-hmm.
It's most of it.
Yeah. What are your what are your macros looking like? Like how much protein are you trying to eat every day?
At least like 180 grams of protein.
Okay. I know you probably don't want like another thing to use, but I really, really recommend getting one of those smokers. It's such a good way to make like really flavorful stuff that doesn't have anything on it.
Mm.
Doesn't add any calories or sugar or anything. I use it like every day now.
Right.
Great. Oh, I've got a ton of chicken on it right now. Nemanja says, I didn't tell you, but I found a little owl that was dehydrated on my jogging route and I've been taking care of it. But now I don't know why the young owl doesn't want to eat his own. Because if he's a baby owl, you have to force feed him. You have to do that with all the birds. We used to use little eyedroppers with like dog food mixed with water. That was like what we would always give the baby birds. But yeah, until they're a certain age, they're not gonna be able to do it themselves. That's cool though. You should send me pictures. Only raised one owl when I was a kid. You like never see them around here. They're here, you just never see them.
What's a good exercise for rendering like this? Oh my goodness. Well, having Krita is helpful, first of all, because that brush is nice.
Mm.
I mean, it's really just a matter of doing it all the time. I hate giving that kind of advice, but that's almost always what it is. It's like set a goal for yourself and do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take you forever. It's just what it is. Hold on a second. Mute myself. Don't ring the doorbell, please.
Yep. The panic.
I think it's a solicitor. I get to watch Kim tell him to go away.
Dave's muted, guys.
Oh, this is cool, actually. I didn't know this dude was coming today.
What is it?
It's the contractor dude. He's here to look at a couple things that we wanted to do.
You want to hop off stream?
Yeah, I will in a second.
Guys, me and Dave are probably going to go in a minute. He's got stuff to do, and I got to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I'll be back later tonight, though, for another, like, 3-hour stream, probably.
But check out this night guy. He came out half decent. I like the weirdo colors that I'm choosing for it. It's like a 90s toy.
Can you send me a picture?
Yeah, I will. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna hop off here so that I can
I'm going to get off,
talk
too.
to the guy.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the gym. I'll be
All right.
back later, guys.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody. This was fun. 3-hour stream.
Bye, everyone.